Hello, judges and the panelists, and the teams will be joining soon, I guess, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, many of the people have joined. So, so the first team, can you please raise your hands? The members who will be presenting, please raise your hands. I'll give you presenter rights. Hello, hello. Am I audible to the teams? Please raise your hands. The teams who the team who is going to present now, that would be team 4.
Okay. Team 4.
Yeah, team 4, please raise your hands. uh, okay, I can't see any raised hands as of now. uh, um, yeah, Vamsi, Palak, Nandan, Sriram, and Vamsi have joined.
Okay.
I'll
Host to accept. They said we did raise hands. Host to
Yeah,
accept.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll give them the presenter rights. Just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, could you please mute your mic for now, please? Uh, so I think I've given. Okay, so Rohan, Sriram, and Nandan are remaining. I'll give them as well. So in the meanwhile, uh, the others who I just gave speaker access, can you please confirm if you are able to unmute?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. Okay, okay, fine. I'll give the rights to the other people as well. Okay, I think I've given the access to the teams. So I'll give you a very brief idea of how we'll go with the flow. So as you know, there are 15 minutes allotted to the team for the presentation. So at the end of 13th minute, we'll give a buzzer. The buzzer, the buzzer sound will. I'll just let you know how the buzzer will sound just now. Uh, Yeah, so the buzzer will sound like this. So this means that your allotted 13 minutes is over, and you have to complete your presentation within the next 2 minutes. So after that, we'll have a 5 minute Q&A, and then you may leave. So this is the general flow of how this session will go. We can start the session. I mean, you can try sharing your screen, one person, and after that, we'll start.
Yep. Thanks, Arun, for the introduction and instructions. Rohan and Palak here will be sharing the screen and presenting. So please confirm if you can see the screen.
Yeah. Please go ahead and try sharing. Yeah, your screen is visible. Your time starts now.
Hello everyone. We are Team Livefire and we are here to solve one of the largest problems in the world. And so, what exactly is our vision? We at Livefire aim to democratize a world class electronic health record system for all the citizens of India to empower them to reclaim ownership of their own medical data. We envision creating a world where the patient has complete control and command over their data. Now, by democratizing the EHR system, we want to create an unparalleled database for medicine from this huge corpus of EHRs with the consent of patients in exchange for monetary benefits, and hence enabling the way for AI and big data analytics in this sector of medicine. Now, in order to understand our ideology, let us start from the root of the journey. To understand current problems of rising medical costs, we shall use the example of Mira. Now, let us consider the case of Meera, a homemaker who lives with her husband and son in Thane. Her husband Ramesh, a school teacher, earns roughly 25,000 rupees every month. Now, she was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, which led to a huge financial burden to befall the household. Now, the average cost of breast cancer treatment is 7 lakh rupees, and for an average middle class family like theirs, it poses a huge burden. Now, Ramesh had insured his family right when their son was born. However, his medical insurance covered only up to rupees 2.5 lakhs. Now, although medical research has reached a point where most healthcare issues can be addressed with solutions, the cost endured by these individuals to access these solutions has touched unbearable limits. Today, India gets affected with a 15% inflation in the healthcare domain compared to the global average of just 4.5%. Now, this happens due to the fact that healthcare in India is a free sector and is heavily influenced by capitalism. Now, this shows that while healthcare facilities have evolved tremendously, their affordability remains to be out of reach for most Indians. Now, this is why people tend to gravitate towards insurance companies, which aren't without their share of drawbacks, as will be seen subsequently. Now that we have acknowledged the various problems that have blemished the healthcare sector, let us talk about the solutions that currently exist to battle the rising costs. Now, a health insurance plan is a prime model to deal with rising medical costs. It provides financial security to an individual by covering costs related to treatment, hospitalization, and other pre and post hospitalization expenses. Now, this sounds like everything's been solved, right? Absolutely not. Now, depending on one's age, the amount to be paid by him or her for insurance premium can go on escalating. Now, with for people with pre-existing medical conditions such as blood pressure, most of the insurance policies have a waiting period of 2 to 3 years. Now, in the case of Meera, while she and her family were covered by medical insurance, the amount failed to cover most of their financial expenses, which actually defeated the purpose of reducing the burden. Now, the private hospital near their home in Thane did not accept the medical insurance policy, and hence Meera had to go further into the city to seek treatment. Now, as evident from the stats shown on the slide, insurance policies are clearly not working out, and the dissatisfaction can be seen in the stats again. Therefore, the need of the hour is an alternative solution of financial aid for patients in need. Through extensive research and interviews with various stakeholders, including industry professionals, doctors, and other government policy makers, we, the team, have found a way to do the same by tapping into the domain of Internet of Medical Things and biodata mining. Now, before we talk about our solution, it is important to understand the system of EHR, which is electronic health records. Now, EHRs are a collection of medical records created during clinical encounters and occurrences. Now, they can contain information about the type of treatment, a patient's medical history, his or her lifestyle, prescribed medication, and other test results. When we asked Meera for her medical records, she produced a bulky file with various test reports and handwritten prescription notes. We were astonished at the lack of digital records since governments all around the world have been emphasizing the digitization of medical data in the form of EHRs. Now, let us look deeper into why EHRs are in demand. So EHRs do have a lot of advantages associated with them. They eliminate the requirement of extensive storage facilities for data. They make data retrieval easier. They can reduce data entry errors. They basically make it seamless to analyze and access data using a variety of tools and help in maintaining standards for medical data collection and terminology. More importantly, the huge network of EMRs has a potential of becoming a corpus of billions of valuable data points. Now, considering breast cancer itself, we would have millions of patients' medical history data. This corpus could be considered as valuable as a gold mine for pharma companies to explore. Now, India has mandated usage through the Clinical Establishment Registration and Regulation Act passed in 2010. However, the lack of Mira's EHR led us to investigate the extent of adoption of EHRs in our country. Now, while it is true that EHRs have a plethora of advantages, there have been quite a few hurdles in their adoption, specifically in our country. As seen in Mira's case, her records were not digitalized, and in further analysis, we were able to figure out some of the main factors responsible for the barriers in the widespread use of EHRs. Now, firstly, subpar Ehr implementation despite standards given. So now, while a set of predefined standards of images and clinical codes have been prescribed by the Standards Act in 2016, there is a lack of consistency in the use of definitions of EHRs and regulations. Additionally, the variance in the technical knowledge acquired by the supplier and the user alongside the system's technical requirements can cause such inconsistencies. Now, medical staff will have access to a patient's personal data, which must be protected. So, EHRs pose a risk to securing the privacy of medical information. Apart from this, they also have the potential to cause data loss, which can be extremely inconvenient for both parties, which are patients and the medical professionals working. Now, these barriers in the adoption of EHRs encouraged hospitals to enter the black market to sell patient data illegally without their consent. Now, just to give you an idea about how valuable medical data can be, the Indian healthcare system witnessed one of the largest data breaches in 2019 when cybercriminals had stolen 68 lakh records of patient and doctor information. Now that there is a demand in the market, obviously players have tried to enter. The market size of global big data analytics in healthcare is forecasted to reach $67.82 billion by 2025, booming at a compound annual growth rate at 19.1%. There's a huge potential for market penetration, and while there have been attempts to enter, the drawbacks of EMR systems, as explained previously, are some of the reasons why they haven't worked out. Now, we have identified global competitors, namely Inspirata and Emblema, as well as a few Indian competitors. The Indian ones are firms named WebMedi and Purple Docs, who have been providing EHR systems to some of the top private hospitals in India. Now, although these firms provide EHR systems, there is no aspect of automation and analysis in their functioning. This is where we do things differently. Keeping the working and revenue streams of these businesses in mind and analyzing their shortcomings, we have proposed a solution and a business model which will be explained further.
So, moving on to the proposed solution and the user journey, we shall offer an end-to-end architecture involving software and hardware solutions to revolutionize EHRs in India. Firstly, we offer a state-of-the-art EHR software that is compliant with the Indian government standards, but also offers features that parallel global standards. We shall also offer IoT solutions for medical equipment manufacturers at competitive prices to evolve conventional equipment to smart ones. And these shall work in combination to create unparalleled databases that will pave the way for data as a service platform. To understand the entire workflow, let us look at an example. A patient visits a physician, and after that, we fit a microcontroller in the device measuring the vitals of the patient, which collects their data and then transfers that to a private cloud through the Wi Fi. The system then serializes these test values in a JSON structure according to some protocols. And after serialization, this data will be collected by the cloud from the sensors, is further transferred to a database on the local server. Finally, the data that we get on the local database will be sent to the medical staff's web application for further monitoring and processing. Once the EHR is updated, patients will be asked for the consent for sharing their data with organizations anonymously in return for monetary benefits. Should they choose to give their consent, their data points will be added to a database and sold to firms that are interested in buying the data. The revenue earned through the sale shall be divided amongst the patients, the manufacturers, and us. Now, coming to the milestones that we are looking forward to, they are rigorously testing the prototype, launching the MVP into the market, conducting sales campaigns for 6 months to widen our customer base, and after seeing a boost in sale of hardware, software, and infrastructure, we would come up with a creative marketing campaign that would take our user base to 1 million users. And from this point, it would take up to 2 years to build an expansive database, post which we can introduce the feature of data sale. Now, the benefit of this prototype includes accurate real time monitoring of the patient's vitals, proper analysis of any symptoms, and accordingly, facilitation of required medical treatment. Coming to the UI, we shall have three interfaces for LifeWire, meant for doctors, patients, and data buyers. Doctors will be able to look at administrative details like the number of patients' appointments, surgeries, and the month, etc., along with access to individual patient records. Patients will be able to see their electronic medical records, which are updated at every clinical check, regardless of the clinic. Progress is displayed in interactive graphs and charts for the patients. Also, the data that is being sold will boost ongoing research, which is a win win for everyone. And the best part is, patients will be able to sell their data securely and hence use that money from the sale to finance their treatment. Our unique value proposition is as follows. Our solution focuses primarily on the patient and grants them complete control over their data and opens access to one of the first health data exchanges in the country where they can monetize from the medical data and boost ongoing research. Instead of simply providing a cloud storage solution using EHR, we shall also focus on providing strong analytical tools and services to hospitals that utilize this data. Our solution will also be the first in the market to automate the process of medical data collection by using smart IoT devices, making it easier to implement this model. Coming to our go to market strategy, we know that the success of a product is largely associated with the growth metrics of the EHR platform. We shall work closely with government organizations in order to spread awareness to users regarding its use. We shall attract users towards the app by mandating the use of EHR in public hospitals first, similar to the approach of Kerala's e-health project by the state government. Since the adoption of this highly relies on the use of IoT sensors, the medical equipment shall be provided at highly subsidized rates with the help of government incentivization to healthcare providers. And as seen on the slides, we shall also be operating on a freemium basis and have a frontline team dedicated to handling sensitive cases. Now, our primary KPIs that measure the performance of our platform are the number of patients and doctors using EHRs, the number of EHR reports collected, the engagement and data analytics done on EHRs, as well as the quality of data and the patient aid ratio. Now, in the secondary KPI, we look at factors that indicate our money making ability. These include the number of IoT devices sold and to whom they are being sold to, the number of premium EHR users in their customer base, and the different types of medical devices our technology can be incorporated in. The growth in the number of patients on the platform shall be boosted through channel of monetary reimbursement, and with more and more patients on the platform, doctors are inclined to adapt. Our adoption and retention strategies are shown on the slide. And this is a visual representation of how a solution would function amongst the initial customer base. Coming to the revenue model, we expect revenue through 5 streams. That is through the sale of our IoT infra, through the commission of data sales that takes place over our platform, via the freemium model of IT solutions that we will be supplying to the clinics, and through the funds that come from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, as well as various tenders for data collection. Now, obviously, there is money that goes into the business in form of a costs that would comprise of the salaries of the employees, the campaign costs, the cost of construction of IT infra, as well as customer support and other facilities like the working spaces. The partners that we are working with would include the health ministry, the medical device manufacturers, and the R&D firms, along with the patients, doctors, and healthcare providers, and this makes up the customer segment. Now, in order to validate our solution, we have displayed our proof of concept. As previously mentioned, the competitors have shown success in the market, which means there's a requirement for EHRs in the ecosystem. Now, in India, the EHR market is growing since there is an imminent shift to digitization in the health sector mandated by the government. As proven by the stand taken by the Kerala government in recent years through the eHealth Project 2020, the statistics talk for themselves. There are 371 onboarded hospitals and the total registrations are 1.8 crore. Now, coming to the impacts, we have identified the top 5 impacts of a solution on the medical ecosystem. The first being that LifeWire is in line with the current trend of digitization of medical data, and data collected from the sensors is automatically standardized, saving the energy and time spent on manually doing so. The system is extremely convenient for the patients as they do not have to carry huge files of medical history of the patient. And patient data is also more secure. since this is an extremely safe way to transmit information. Collecting data over sensors is also better than the orthodox methods like using paper in terms of eco-friendliness, and data collected digitally is much more accurate as there is a reduction of human error during data collection. This also reduces the time to collect and store data. The high quality data LifeFile collects is very valuable for pharmas and research institutions since most of the medical research is data driven, and the data will add to their efforts to produce more effective medicines and cures. The data shall also help governments in framing their healthcare related policies to better match with people's needs. And of course, the patients will highly benefit from selling their medical data on LifeWire's platform through medical reimbursements. We conclude our presentation here. Thank you. We're open for questions.
So thank you, Team 4. Sir, the time for Q&A starts now. So panelists, if you have any queries, please you can ask the team.
Yeah. Hey, Nandan and Palak, that was very good. So I have a couple of queries. So you're talking about the sensor data, right? Can you give a particular example of what kind of data would be inferred and you'll be maintaining that, and how are you ensuring that the data is accurate enough?
Regarding the sensor data, for example, there are multiple sensors that are available in the market for monitoring of various diseases. For example, if we take an instance of knee arthritis, in this case, we use the force sensor and the inertial measurement sensor to monitor the acceleration, the force exerted on the knee joint of a patient's joint in order to analyze his real-time movements. Similarly, there are other sensors like the pulse sensor, the temperature sensors for characterizing the heart rate and temperature of a patient. Additionally, there are also immunological sensors that measures the protein level and DNA template stand of a patient. There are nanosensors which are used for the detection of leukemia. So you get the gist. There are a lot of advanced sensors which can accurately measure, measure the vitals and the required details for proper diagnosis.
Okay, so all these sensors are kind of approved for this medical, purpose, or are we assuming that okay, the sensors are standard and the data provided by them is pretty accurate?
No,
Right.
they are.
Let me answer it, Aditya. Yes, sir. Thank you. This is Sriram, the team captain. Thank you for the good question. So that is one of the key points where we, shine. So as you rightly mentioned, that if anything has to go within a medical equipment, so there's a process of approval and clinical testing for all of it.
Yeah.
And companies right now spend lots and lots of money, like if they want to develop their own IoT infrastructure or anything. So that will be an additional burden on top of the research which they are already doing. So most of them, they outsource their IoT equipment, like similar to what Silicon Labs does in terms of wearable devices and stuff. So they will outsource their research and development costs for the IoT infrastructure and the sensor development. That will be done by us, and then we will provide the state-of-the-art, highly accurate sensors to them. They will have the hardware, software infrastructure from our side, and they can do the other parts, the integrating it into their system that they can do. And of course, there's a benefit for them because there is a commission which is going to the manufacturers through the data sale. So that will be their incentive on top of making their devices smart.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one question regarding the you mentioned Ravidesh. Can I?
Yeah, please go ahead, Rishabh.
So you mentioned that the patient can fund his treatment by selling the data. So do you have an estimate of how much a data, like a chunk of data, or what the costing for the data would be, and would it be really enough for the patient to fund his own treatment, or maybe at least a part of it? Any case study on that?
Yeah, definitely we do have statistics for that. However, I'll give a small disclaimer that this data, it's not entirely available because these are internal, dealerships within organizations. So they don't openly disclose how much they are buying data for. But there was an estimate, like for example, there was a research which is going on in terms of diabetic patients. So we have seen that one database was purchased at $14 million. So this is like a subscription based again, $14 million per year. That also, it's not a one-time buy. It's kind of like a subscription basis. The data keeps on updating, of course, but then it will be like a recurring revenue for the patient also, and also for the research institutes or whoever are collecting the data. And one more important thing to understand here is it's not a one-time purchase, and that multiple organizations can use the databases. So it will be like not just coming from one source. There's a huge money coming for one single database, but multiple organizations are using the database, and also it is based on a subscription. So the patient will recurringly make a safe revenue. Of course,
Right.
for the small scale diseases like diabetes and stuff, you won't be able to get much of it because there's a lot of patients out there and there's a lot of data already available. But for the rarer diseases, cancer, breast cancer, leukemia, where there's smaller data points, then we'll be able to fund even higher amounts. It might even touch to 50,000, 1 lakh for one time purchase.
For one time, 50,000 to 1 lakh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my question. I mean, the data can fetch a lot when sold in bulk, but what is the advantage for that individual is what my question was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So depending on the rarity and the critical nature of so that is how it naturally fits into the big picture. Right?
Mhm.
So yeah. So
Right.
that is
So we have crossed the given time limit of 5 minutes for questions. So I think we are good to wrap this up. Rishabh sir and others, Manas sir, is it fine? Uh,
if there are any short questions, we'll be happy to answer very quickly. Otherwise, yeah.
yeah, I mean, since this is this is
Right.
yeah,
This
yeah,
first.
only a short question.
Good, good, good. Thank you for the opportunity, the panelists, and also IT Kharagpur. Thanks a lot.
Since
The
this
rest are
is the
kids.
first thing, we can have a very short question and a very short answer from the team as well, please. Okay, I think
We are good.
we are good. So thank you, Team 4. So
Thank you.
you can stop presenting and you can leave.
Yeah. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, good job, everyone. Team 4. Great.
So, for the panelists, sir, the next presentation is scheduled at 10:50 because
Then
we adjusted some teams uh, due to the panel issue which came up due to the mid evaluation thing. So, sir, the next presentation will be at 10:50, sir, and then again there is a gap at 11:40. I mean, after the 11:15 presentation, there is no presentation at 11:40. We'll have a presentation at 12. This is the thing, sir.
okay, and one more thing, can you enable Rahul also? Rahul is also he's a panelist.
Yes, sir. I think Rahul sir can directly join. I think I had already sent him a link.
Okay, okay.
So
Hmm.
Rahul sir is already there. I'll just check if he's not being shown. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I think he'll be able to unmute as well.
Oh,
Yeah, we can see Rahul here. Good.
Yeah. Hello, Rahul sir.
so Rahul, you got the invite, no? Now? So yeah.
So actually, I had sent the invites to all the panelists. I
Yeah,
think he might have missed it. I had sent it late at night, so probably he missed
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay. Then we have to meet again at 10:50, right?
Uh, so we'll start. I mean, the teams. I mean, the procedure will start from 10:45, and the teams will start presenting at 10:50. So, yeah.
Okay. Then we can drop, right now?
So I would suggest please stay on call. You can probably keep this tab open and uh, work
Hmm. Okay.
just to avoid confusion later.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, audible, yeah.
Yes, sir. You
Yeah,
are audible.
Arun, can you just tell again the timing for next two sessions? 10:50 later.
So okay, I'll mention again. So the timing is from 10:50 to 11:15,
Mhm.
and then after that we have one more team from 11:15 to 11:40. But then from 11:40 to 12, we are free, and
Okay.
then from 12 to after that we have continuous sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Hello, Team 6. If you are here, please raise your hands. I'll give you presenter rights. The speaker rights. Team 6, please raise your hands. Team 6, please raise your hands. So I are there only two presenters? I can't see any more hands raised.
Yes, sir. There are
So
only two.
can one of Gokul or Sharnish confirm if there are only two presenters?
Yeah, I mean, yes, sir. We only have two presenters. Am I audible?
Okay, so yeah, you're audible. So I'll brief you. So after 13 minutes, we'll have a small buzzer. It will sound like this. I hope that was audible.
Yes.
So after that, within 2 minutes, after 2 minutes, you have to complete the entire presentation, and then after that, there will be a 5 minute Q&A session, and then the entire thing is done. Okay. So now your time will start when I say. So please start. Try presenting, and then I'll mention
Okay.
when to start.
The team number, this one.
So this is Team 6. Yeah, Sharnesh and yeah,
Sir, is the screen visible, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Just
yeah.
want
The
to.
screen is visible, and and both of you are audible as well. So your time starts now.
Hello, we are Team 6, and here's our presentation for the submission, for our submission on the Silicon Lab Social Entrepreneurship Challenge. So, the challenge is based on IoT, and firstly, why IoT? Uh, IoT gets things done smarter and not harder. With the ever-evolving technology and IoT at our hands, all the cumbersome tasks can now readily be done with ease and comfort. Our problem statement deals with utilizing IoT in the field of healthcare. Several things like even the online meet which we are currently is possible due to IoT. So here's the contents which you have. We'll be going through the problem statement, the proposed solution, and different modules involved in it, namely the hardware, software, web application, and the business model for our solution, and the enhancements and future work we have. So here's our problem statement. Uh, if anything in the recent times have taught us the most, it's how important health is and the impact of healthcare on and disease on the world. Even 2 years down the lane, we still haven't recovered completely from COVID-19 pandemic. There has been still some challenges which we face. Health is precious, and hence it's highly prioritized over other aspects of human life, and people have realized this. Investments into healthcare sector and the need for better medical services such as new devices, equipments, supplies, facilities have been ever rising over last few years. In the current day, people want everything at their doorsteps, like online food, ordering food, groceries, shopping, and even work from home. People prefer a lot, and so even then, people prefer why not even healthcare start at their doorsteps. So our solution aims at the process of easing the tedious process involved in health checkup and appointments by editing an end-to-end solution built upon IoT and have a centralized system that keeps track of all the patient's medical history and data. So here's our proposed solution. Our IoT solution integrates several components to simplify the process of acquiring healthcare by providing the user a myriad of utilities at his fingertips, that is on his phone or a personal computer. The solution combines remote vital monitoring via an electronic IoT device, medical data transfer through the cloud and store it over cloud, promoting transparency and easier checkups and diagnosis in many ways. So our solution has two major sections, mainly hardware and software. Our hardware module is an electronic device consisting of an array of sensors to read the patient's health vitals such as temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen levels, and glucose levels. The patient can remotely test himself non-invasively using the device. Since it integrates IoT within it, all of this data will be published onto the cloud for the doctor's access when when the patient wishes to consult a doctor online. Additionally, the patient's medical history and relevant information could be transferred to the application. In situations where the individual cannot procure this device for himself, like hospitals can place this as a kiosk, or the government can or have some sort of can place these devices in a local region or area where it covers it's accessible to a large set of people. In the software part, we collect data and it will be analyzed using AI models. Based on the patient's vitals, symptoms, and medical history, the list of doctors and specialists would be recommended to him. They can opt for a virtual or a physical checkup and get differential diagnosis, order medicines through our application, book lab appointments, etc. In case of physical checkups, the prescription which the doctor gives can directly be sent to the pharmacy for the packaging, and the user can have a hassle-free experience by direct takeaway at the pharmacy just after the start of the payment and avoiding long queues. Furthermore, the data which we collect, analyze using AI for any ambiguities, or I can keep track of any new breakouts or patterns in a certain region.
Yeah. Now coming to the end-to-end solution that we have proposed, let's start with the hardware. The first coming to the one of the most difficult problem that should be solved in a virtual meet for a doctor is getting the vitals of the patients. A patient's vitals are crucial information in diagnosis. The sensor hub that we have proposed solves the above issue. It's a smart IoT device that can be connected to heart swappable sensors, and the data collected can be synced with the central database, which can be accessed later. So these are the list of sensors that we are planning to integrate in this prototype as of now, which includes MAX 30102, which is the heart rate sensor and the blood oxygen sensor, and few other sensors like ECG, temperature sensor, and pressure sensor, and glucometer. And this is the pic of the prototype that we have made as of now. And this prototype is based on ESP32 module, which is the microcontroller used here, which also acts as an IoT device, which is connected to MAX 30102, which is the heart rate monitoring and blood oxygen level sensor. And it also has BMP 280, which is a temperature sensor and also a pressure sensor. How this works is it gets the reading from the sensors and it publishes that to a Google Sheet as of now. So connecting to the internet, as discussed before, like the prototype is based on ESP32, which is a Wi-Fi enabled device, so which can connect to the internet via Wi-Fi and can publish data easily. And the data that is published on the database can be shared with other users like doctors and the patient's families and friends with the consent of the user. So now coming to the software part. We have AI involved in our end-to-end solution in different areas. So to concise it, like we can broadly classify them as in three areas. Firstly, in a chat box. So this is a chat box which interacts with the patients and try to collect information like symptoms, to predict the appropriate specialist that can be recommended to the patient. So this is basically a doctor recommender for a patient who doesn't know what he has, what problem he has. So secondly, coming to the cloud. In the cloud, we have large number of anonymous health data. Health data and machine learning algorithms can be integrated with the workflow to extract useful insights and information like clustering of a disease or common symptoms around a region, so that people can be alerted if there is a breakout. Also, AI is involved in the sensor hub. The data is collected can be somewhat related to each other, and if there are any ambiguity in the data, which can be found out easily, like the ambiguity can include like human errors in inputting the data or not. So this solves the problem of that, and these the snippets of the chat box that we have integrated, which basically interacts with the users with simple yes or no or value based questions, and try to predict what he has. Now coming to the web application. So this is the one-stop service for patients and doctors. There will be a mobile app in future as well as with the web application, because it will be more portable and easy to use. The web page is the one which integrates everything from the software, hardware, and other services that we provide together. The website will be forked into two parts, one for the doctor and one for the patients. For the doctor side, the features that the website can include is something like appointment management, in which he can accept or deny the appointment of patients. Prescription syncing in the pharmacies, in which he can directly sync the prescriptions for the patients to the pharmacy, so that there will be a hassle-free delivery system for the patients. The patient side website will have features like visually summarizing the data that was extracted from the sensor hub, pointing out any abnormalities in his health, and appointment booking, and even the chat box that we made will be integrated with this website. So this is the workflow for the patient side. So basically, user can log in and register using an email, and then all the features will be there in the sidebar or the header, like to point out some like notification, profile settings, then medical history, favorite doctors or star doctors, and there will be about section, and also the tests that you have taken in the past will be in the database, which can be viewed through this website. And this will be the workflow for the doctor side. So this will be very similar thing, and there will be a landing page, and doctors can log in with their UPR and MCI or OCR details, and even they will have similar settings like profile notification, and there will be an appointment acceptance page for this. These are the few pics from our prototype web application. This is the dashboard for the patient's site, and this will include something like the messages, the appointment calendar, the to-dos to inform them about the coming tests that they have to take, and they will also get to see the visualization of their data that was collected through the sensor. And these are the different these are the different functionality that is in the website page.
So coming to the business model which we have in place for our solution, let's first look at the market potential which we have. According to a survey in the year 2020, there has been a 500% increase in the number of online consultations, and this inherently paves a way for a large space in the market to exploit by health technology. So also in the pandemic, people want everything to be happening online or at their doorstep, and they don't want to compromise on the quality of healthcare, and they want the best-in-class experience in terms of healthcare as well. So what we place in the market. As a marketable product, we offer two things. One is the sensor kit, which the users buys at a one-time cost, and maybe like if there is any additional service at some time due to any fault in sensor, he may require to pay for it. Secondly, the application, which the user interfaces with the sensor and has all the interface to perform the desired actions by communicating with the doctors or booking his appointments and getting scheduled lab appointments or something. The app is free to use, except that he needs to pay for the doctor consultations. Individual users have an option of either buying the sensor kit alone, or can only be the user of by buying the sensor kit and being the user of the application, or he or she can be the user of the application alone. Because the sensor kit is sort of shareable across multiple users. Maybe a single member, one family can own the sensor kit, and all the members in the family can use it. Though there can be multiple users in the same family. So this goes even in the rural areas where people in like can be a common spot at with the sensor kit could be placed, and people in and around can use this sensor kit to communicate to doctors or measure their vitals. Also, doctors who want to integrate all this and all the vital measurement and vital measurements of the patients, and can buy a sensor kit and place it in their clinics and keep track of all the vitals that have been measured. Also, hospitals can buy a bulk of the sensor kits and have some self-checking kiosk where patients can go directly and measure his or her own vitals. So the application's experience, looking at the application's experience in terms of the user interface, for the patients, it's a one-stop platform where they can book appointments, find doctors based on their symptoms and history of data with the help of chatbots and many more. For doctors and hospitals, there is a common point of access for all their patients' data, and it's like some single source of access point for all the happenings in the hospital. Looking at the competition in the market, this has been a huge competition in the market in terms of large number of rising startups and trying to enter the space, and few of them have been well established. To name a few will be like Tracto, Liberate, Cocky, DocSap, and 1MG. There are a few well established companies in the market space. They try to solve only a section of problems in the healthcare sector, or try to integrate a few of the processes in the pipeline. What we propose is to bring a complete end-to-end solution that integrates almost all the processes in the pipeline of hospital visits and doctor consultations. Also, we have a common applications that keep track of the patient's data at a common point, and that can be accessed at any point of time. So the revenue model, looking at the revenue model, we have three major sources of revenue. Number one being the sensor kit that the user pays for. Second being the hospitals and doctors who use the cloud, where all the data gets logged based on the storage they will be charged. A third source of revenue is the subscription service on the app. So by default, the user gets a free model of subscription, where he has limited number of online consultations that can be done and limited access to cloud database. While the subscription model provides them unlimited consultations and unlimited storage on the cloud. So these are the major source of revenue, and through this we try to provide a proper support and enhancements to the user. So the enhancements and future work which we have are to build a full-fledged web application, mobile application, and integrate all the features that we have mentioned into a single common database. Also, we want to improve the user's accessibility by adding a voice bot along with a chat bot. Also, the accuracy and durability of the sensor hub could be improved by scaling up the sensors and improving the quality of sensors which we use. Also, trying to collect local health data and common regional diseases to improve the accuracy of ML models. So these are the enhancements, and thank you, and we are open for questions now.
Okay, so thank you, Team 6. Sir, we are now open to queries for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Rahul. I have a question about the sensor hub or the kit which you're going to provide to the end customers or people. Did you have any standardization of connecting so many things together on a ESP node or any controller that you use? Have you worked on the standardization, or what it will take to make it really viable, usable by any kind of a person who don't know anything about it, keeping so many things together? Have you done any analysis or anything on that?
So basically, we try to have a same connector for every sensor that is available in the market, so that usually sensors will have different types of connectors to be connected with the microcontroller. We try to solve the problem by using the same connector, so that people can hard swap sensors with the same port whenever it is necessary. But we haven't implemented the same in the prototype, but we are planning to do that in the future.
So also as a end user's point of view, he not have to go to the brain of connecting sensors or something. Everything will be connected. Like that will be just like a plug and play. He can just like connect all the sensors, and there will be clearly mentioned access points where the users need to place a sensor to measure vitals, or everything will be properly mentioned. And once the user places his or his body points or the sensors at that correct body points, the vitals will be measured with proper accuracy.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. My question is about you're putting too many things together, okay, with the same kit, which patient will be using. Have you done any medical standardization that this is viable, this will work properly, that will in any scenarios, use conditions, and you will get proper readings with so many things together on the same kit?
Actually, no, sir. Like we have stick with the commercial sensors that was available to us at this point, and I mean, actually, we have experience with that. Like we had a project like a smartwatch in which we tried to measure the vitals like heartbeat and cell oximeter, but the accuracy was not up to the point to which it can be medically approved. But yeah, still, I think with some proprietary sensors we can improve the accuracy and we can get the certification which are needed.
Yeah, so connected question, you say that there is something available already, okay, which comes with the application and which can be connected to the any backend which we are proposing also. So how you will differentiate your product in that ecosystem, already available ecosystems?
I mean, can it be a little more descriptive, sir?
Okay, so as you said, right, you have a smartwatches which are already doing partial of this stuff and which are connected to the application where you get to see what is happening with your body. So what this sensor hub is going, the hub which you are creating, going to make it, how you are going to make it different than what is available?
In the market, the available devices are I think you are confusing that with the smartwatches. Actually, the smartwatch is a very separate project which has nothing to do with this, but still, like, this is a sensor hub which has medical grade sensors integrated to it with it. Like it doesn't just measure the heart rate and the pulse oximeter. It also measures some important vitals like sugar levels for diabetics, etc., like that.
Okay.
Did it answer you, sir?
Okay.
Anyone else has any query? Rishabh sir, Ravidet sir, or anyone?
Yeah, one small query on the business model and the revenue stuff. So, yeah, Gokul and Sarnesh, yeah, that was good presentation, first of all. So, like, I understood there was some strategy and all, and some analysis done on the business model. But do you have any specific numbers or something there? Like,
Yes, so actually, like our goal is to keep price it at as cheap as possible, so that like a wider range of audience can afford to it, and they can be the end user of it. We haven't like come up with a final estimated cost because like we haven't like completely fixed up on which sort of medical grade sensors to use and which will be like which will be like sought approval, and we are even trying, if possible, like trying to make customized sensors possible. So any case, like we are trying to base it at less than 2.5K or max by 3K, so that like people could afford to buy it, and it is like a one-time investment which people can use for a long time.
so this
So
one, because you're terming it as end-to-end solution, so it's
yeah,
not.
this is a
So
sensor
it
kit I'm talking
includes
about.
the subscription to the cloud, everything, right?
Yeah. That no. So this I'm talking about sensor kit. So sensor kit is a single cost. People buy at 2.5K, and like the subscription cost like depends on the cloud database which we use. So a cloud
So that's
database
what.
and
So
yeah.
on with respect to your end-to-end solution, did you do a market analysis of this complete revenue model, right? Including your sensor, the kit, and the subscription with respect to different cloud vendors and other stuff.
So I think we have crossed the time
Yeah,
limit.
I'll just answer this
Short
question.
answer. Short
Yeah.
answer. Very brief. Very
Yeah.
brief.
So we haven't like tried like looking at cloud vendors and how much does it cost. So yeah, we are just like in the process of looking at it, and we'll try. We haven't like sort of done a complete market analysis in terms of cloud services, and how much does it cost to come up with the final price for the subscription.
Okay, Gokul. That was good. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, team. So you can stop presenting. In the meanwhile, the next team, that is team 8, could you please raise your hands? I'll give you presenter rights. So team, you can share your slide. If there is anyone remaining, please mention. Otherwise, I'll start with the small brief. Is anyone else remaining from your team that I have not made presenter? Then please unmute and mention now.
Yes. One more member is coming. Just a second.
Yeah, can you mention his name now? Now.
Garvit.
Has he joined yet? Because the time is about to start.
Yes, he joined.
So what is
Okay.
what is the name?
Yes,
What
he's
is the
here.
name?
Garvit
What
Agarwal.
is the name? Huh?
Garvit Agarwal.
Garvit. Okay. Okay. So I've given him the invite as well. So I think everyone is there. So at the end of 13th minute, there will be a buzzer or an indicator. It will sound like this. Okay. So I hope that was audible. So it will sound like this, and then after that, immediately within 2 minutes, you have to wrap up your presentation, and then after that, there will be a 5-minute Q&A session, and then you can stop presenting. So please share your screen and we can start with the time now. So please share your screen immediately.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible. Your time starts now.
Good morning, everyone. We, the members of Team 8, are going to present our idea on waste management for Silicon Labs Social Entrepreneurship Challenge. Waste management is one of the major problems in the whole world, increasing population and urban migration being the main reasons behind it. Approximately one third of all food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted. The economic cost of this food wastage are substantial and amount to about 1 trillion each year. However, the hidden cost of food wastage extend much further. Now, if we take a closer look at India's waste management system, then we see that only 20% of the waste collected is treated and the rest is dumped in landfills. As a result, India has a capacity of producing 18.9 million metric tons of compost annually, but due to improper management, only 0.2 million metric tons is produced. Let us now look at the current process of how waste is treated in India. The collection of waste from door to door is the prime duty of the municipal government, where waste collection and handling is mostly done manually. Sometimes municipalities also assign the private organization for this task. However, collected recyclable waste by the vendors sold to local scrap dealers, which is forwarded to the recycling unit outside the cities. Thus, we identified this problem and come forward with our solution, which can be mainly divided into three components: a smart bin for segregation of organic waste, a network of bins to transfer information to stakeholders, and a marketplace to bridge the gap of transportation.
So now let's look into the working of Smart Bin. Our dustbin uses different sensors such as inductive proximity sensor and photoelectric proximity sensor to identify the type of materials present in the waste and pour it accordingly into the two bins using the servo motor. It is also equipped with a moisture sensor to check the dryness, an ultrasonic sensor to measure the bin capacity, and a weight sensor to measure the weight of waste poured. All these sensors are connected to Arduino Mega, which reads them and sends the required information to the server using ESP8266. Next slide. The basic workflow of the dustbin is when the waste is poured. It is checked for any metals using inductive proximity sensor, and after that, photoelectric sensors are used to detect any plastics or inorganic substances. If any metal or inorganic substances are found, they are poured in the inorganic bin, and if not, they are poured in the organic bin. And the subsequent weight is added to the bin's weight. The ultrasonic sensor updates the capacity left, and the moisture sensor updates the moisture value. All this data is sent through ESP8266. Next slide. Our next task was to create a local network of the dustbins to know the relevant information about each dustbin. As shown in the figure, there is one central server that will receive data from all the other nodes. That is our dustbins. We have used ESP Now protocol instead of Wi-Fi to create a link between the dustbins. Here, each dustbin inbuilt with ESP8266 is programmed to operate in station mode, and the central server is programmed to operate in access point mode. Each node, that is our dustbin, is connected to multiple sensors like GPS, temperature, ultrasonic sensors, and collecting and sending the data to the central server using the MAC address. Next slide. So the benefits of using ESP Now protocol is that our system will be fault tolerant. Here, we are using the MAC address directly for communication so there is very little latency, as we are eliminating the need of address resolution. We are getting 3 times the range as compared to my Wi-Fi using ESP Now protocol, which is around 480 meters in line of sight. Because of this large range, we do not need to create a mesh network of the dustbins, and we can use star topology to create a large local network of around 0.5 kilometer radius using ESP Now protocol. In case of faulty internet, we can route the dustbin data to the nearest neighbor server using very few intermediary nodes, since each server is acting in station mode as well as access point mode. So basically, we can send data from one dustbin to another dustbin, which is in a range of about 500 meters without the internet, and then data will be sent to the server. Next slide. Now we need to look at how we will be managing the data. We will be using Firebase as our central database. There will be 3 categories of data. Firstly, regarding the smart bin, then regarding the industry, and third, regarding the driver. So our database contains the net data of how much the bins are filled, industry's location to dump the waste, and the driver and its vehicle details along with its maximum capacity to deliver the waste collected by him to the industry. As we have a lot of, next slide. As we have a lot of dustbins placed around the city, one problem arises. How do we collect the segregated waste from the dustbins? The usual way of collection would not at all facilitate the business we try to support, as we require a definite amount of waste and it must meet the needs of a particular industry. Then the question arises, how do we collect the waste according to the need of each industry? Based on the situation and requirements, we have come up with the Cvrp algorithm. First of all the garbage bins are treated as multiple nodes. We try to create a route so that the drivers can follow a route to collect the garbage from the bins. To collect all the waste, we have divided the collection process in two parts. In the first part, we club some dustbins to form a group which contains approximate waste as the industry requires. In the second part, we use the group of dustbins to form an optimized route which would be followed by drivers to collect the waste. For the first part, as there are multiple bins spread across the city, we need to make groups. So we use swarm intelligence to make groups of bins according to the required needs of organic waste. According to swarm intelligence, the variable which is used to group the points are the weight of the bins and the polar angle between the bins. Once the points are grouped, we have to make a route for the driver to follow. We use the TSP algorithm to provide the route between the bins we have sorted under a group and can easily find the optimized route which is capable of for providing the approximate needed waste, and that too in minimum time. Next.
Now we look at the next part of the solution, which is a marketplace. Marketplace in this case is an online platform where the demand and supply of the waste will be facilitated. Major key players in the marketplace include the delivery partner and the industry. Delivery partner includes the truck drivers who are available for picking and delivering the waste from one place to another, and that is in a industry. Second, industry, which includes the biogas plants, animal feed making industries, and compost making facilities, etc. Any user that requires organic waste is our customer. We onboard these customer segments for a fixed amount of regular organic waste that they require. Next. Next, we come to the overall flow chart. So as you can see, first it all begins when the industry posts some requirement for organic waste. Let's say some industry posted some organic waste requirement right now, and next we come to the route is as soon as they post the demand for organic waste, a route is generated from the nearest bin to that particular industry depending upon the amount of waste they require and the location parameters. Third, then we come to the bidding portal. In this bidding portal, as soon as the industry posts some demand for organic waste, the drivers get some notification that this particular industry requires this amount of organic waste, and relatively the trips are created which they require to bid as they require. Next week, the next point comes as the route has begun. The route for the bin collection is showed to the driver with the lowest bid. When the bidding begins, all the drivers fight amongst themselves to win the bidding, and the driver with the lowest bid wins the bidding. Next, the driver collects the waste and status of the bin is updated again. And finally, when the driver delivers the organic waste, the bidding portal closes and the transaction is made. Next. Now we come to the UI flow. As we discussed in the previous slide, as you can see, these are the interfaces for the delivery partner. In the first screen, you can see the delivery partner sees multiple trips which are available to him, which shows the point from where he has to pick the organic waste and deliver to the industry. So let's say he clicks on the first button, that particular box opens up, and you can see the bidding amount is shown, which is already going, and the next button shows the change bid, which he can bid for the lower value. Next, the third screen shows the various the number of dustbins which are available to him, which shows that he has to pick from first particular dustbin, then from the next and the another one, and deliver to the industry. Next. This is the user flow for the industry. As you can see in the first screen, this is the onboarding where the industry owner has to add his location, or there is another option also called that detect my location. He can confirm. After that, he has to post some demand. Let's say in the screen is showing 250 to 300 kgs and the time before which he requires. The bidding will automatically close 2 hours before the time at which he requires the waste, and at that particular moment, the delivery guy who has bid the least amount will win the bid. Next.
So we break down and analyze our business model from the supplier side and the customer side. On the supply side, we have our key partners, Silicon Labs, for our hardware and software requirements. The reason for choosing Silicon Labs is, as our company, when we would scale up from initially operating in 4 top tier 1 and tier 2 cities in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, which are the 2 states with the highest number of composting facilities present, to the whole of India and eventually internationally, Silicon Labs will be able to act as our provider. The high quality of sourced equipment and the match in company ideals are the other 2 factors. We plan to onboard local delivery partners for carrying the organic waste to our nodes for collection and segregation. We chose the delivery partners to be local as they are aware of the conditions on ground and can deal with their nuances. Their services are price effective as compared to outsourcing it to a logistics company. Restaurants and messes can act as our suppliers as a huge proportion of food gets left or wasted in food outlets. This food can be directly sourced from restaurants. We aim to onboard these outlets and get them to sign up for our bins for disposing their food items. The key activities that we perform are design, manufacturing, and assembly of our smart bins customized to the geography that they are present in. The bins are monitored using IoT to detect their status of being full to prioritize the bins that need to be cleared soon. The route optimization algorithm and the transport application provide the driving partners. The major costs incurred by us are the fixed costs of the software development, buying of bin components, the manufacturing costs, the legal costs, and the establishment of manufacturing facilities. The operational costs are mostly dominated by transportation costs, electricity and rent, the maintenance and upkeep of the bin and the software. The transportation costs are kept to the bone through the marketplace bidding system we have in place. The revenue. The pricing will be subscription based by the facilities utilizing the organic waste. The price of the subscription will be dynamic on a monthly basis and demand dependent, hinging on transportation costs, quality of waste, etc. With our current assumptions and calculations, the detailed cost of the whole prototype being mentioned in the appendices, we expect a top line CAGR of 7% and a break even in the third year. Our customers are any facility that requires organic waste. The major customer segments are biogas plants, animal feed make industries, and many and more primarily compost making facilities. Our competitors are companies like Waste Ventures, Green Viron. These companies operate on a small scale and are unable to expand as the management of different stakeholders gets complicated and requires real-time dynamicity to get any profits. Next slide, please. Our North Star metric is the total weight of organic waste sold in a week. The trends in this metric will dictate how far we've come. The other metrics being the total revenue made, indicating the liquid cash flow, the month-on-month growth rate, enabling us to track the rate of expansion, the profit margin, helping us to assess how we onboard more truck drivers and how the unit economics changes with times. The percentage accuracy of detection, the higher the statistics, the more credible our solution becomes. And the average delivery time per tons of waste sold. Next slide, please. The sustainable goals targeted by us are sustainable goal 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 11, 12, and 15. The impact we bring to our stakeholders is the truck drivers operate on low margins. Our bidding system would enable the drivers to choose the most economically optimal trips, allowing them to maximize profit with each trip. The rack pickers go through inhumane conditions, scrapping through waste. By segregating, we help them in 2 ways. By removing the organic waste for rag pickers looking for metals and plastic, we remove the issue of bad odor. By removing the harmful, often sharply edged objects from the supposedly safe organic waste, we make the processing of the waste by compost creating facilities hassle-free. Municipal corporation would welcome this idea with open arms as it greatly solves the
Please,
capture,
please
storage,
stop your presentation.
and utilization of solid waste. Thank you, jury. Now we open the round for Q&A. This is our appendix with the video links of our prototype demonstration, which we can show if you guys want. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. So, judges, we can start the doubt session. Sorry, the uh, Q&A session now. So the time starts now.
Can we have the 1 minute of the session if you have a prototype to quickly show?
Yes, sir. We can show you the complete video of the hardware prototype we have.
That would be good if it is less than a minute, or we can run through.
Uh, Rahul sir, Rishabh sir, and others. If you have any queries, please ask.
You tend to see the prototype if it is less than a minute.
Yes, if it can be.
Yes, sir. This is the link.
Arun, I think it's not.
Yeah, so you can present it now. I mean, we had requested the teams to be ready with the demo, so you can share your screen and present.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes,
will
yes,
present.
yes.
I will present.
If you could also, like, the audio is not. There's no audio. If you could tell us what's going on.
Is it audible?
Yeah, so
Is it audible? Should I continue the play?
can you
Yeah,
share the
Lakshay.
audio, Lakshay, please?
How do I do that?
So
Okay, no, I
instead,
can explain it out. I can explain
yeah,
it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, just
I
explain it.
think that would be better. Yeah, explaining in real time would be better, I guess.
So actually, can you pause it, Lakshay, so
Sorry.
that I can? It's fine. So as you all can see, we are like placing, these are our inductive and photoelectric sensors. So there we are placing the organic waste. We are having two servo motors. So what is happening? First, the organic waste is being detected by them. If my, so like we will be having a net-like structure. We can show you the other prototype in the bin itself. In that, what we'll be having, the sensors will be like a net in a plate. We will be placing our waste. If it identifies any of, if it is a mixed waste like organic plus some inorganic, then it will put it, consider it to be total inorganic side. If we are having purely organic, then this will be sensed and the servo motor will turn towards the organic waste. There are two servo motors placed. We are also having ultrasonic sensors in two bins to continuously monitor that whether the waste is, the bins are filled or not.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop, but it's 5 minutes only, so that gives an idea. Any other question, guys? Thanks for the demo.
You're good. Thank you.
Yeah, so any other queries from the panelists, please?
I think not. That's it from my side. Thank you for the presentation. Was really good.
Okay.
Just one I'll have. I wanted to ask about you. You said that you are looking for Silicon Labs processors to have installed in your dustbin as a long-term plan. What is that you are looking, which is not already available? The interface which you are talking about, talking between your end node and the maybe a base station, a local base station. Did you do that kind of analysis, or it is all in there?
Sir, in terms of our software requirements?
Software and hardware both.
So we've mentioned all the sensors and the softwares that we'll be using. Apurva, can you reiterate those? I don't think we've mapped out exactly which of the products from Silicon Labs are going to supply those particular types
Yeah,
of
yeah, sure,
and
sure,
the
sure.
availability of the
Sure.
same.
Okay, so my question was based upon you saying that you are looking for a long-term plan with Silicon Labs. So I was assuming that you might have done like checks on what it provides. Is it all enough or not? But if it not, it's okay.
Sir, for the hardware requirements, we know that Silicon Labs is means a good player in the field of IoT. So we for the nodes which we are using for sending the data and all, we can use the Silicon Labs uh, devices for communicating our data to the cloud. So these are our plans regarding the hardware.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So I think we are done. So thank you, team. So thank you for the presentation. Um, you can leave now. Also, sir, as I mentioned earlier, now we'll have a gap between 11:40 till 12:05, till 12 o'clock, and from 12:05 the next team will present. After that, we have consistently. I mean, we have regular, or presentations lined up without any breaks. The last presentation starts from 1:55, and then we are done. So we have a break now, sir.
Okay, Arun. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Arun, can we log out from here and come back, or?
Sir, I would suggest please don't log out, because then
Okay.
there might be some other trouble which might come up, right? So you can please stay here if possible. Otherwise, you can, sir. I mean, I would suggest staying here.
Okay.
Yeah, keep your system on. Just yeah, no need to log out. Yeah,
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
keep it like
leave
this.
it like.
Yeah.
Team 2, can you please raise your hands? Uh, I hope Team 2 is present here with us. So Team 2, the presenters, you can raise your hands. I'll give you speaker access. People who have raised hands, please accept the request. Uh, Vedant, can you please accept? Himanshu, I've sent you the thing. So uh, people who are there to present for Team 2, please raise your hands. I can't see any raised hands now on my end. So please raise your hands. Okay. Yeah. Himanshu has joined.
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible, but please refrain from speaking for now.
Excuse me. I just wanted to confirm. Are we audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Oh, awesome. And do you face any issues in terms of echo on your end?
No.
All right, then. So we'll mute ourselves until the presentation starts.
Yeah, sure. So Himanshu, Vedant, Hardik, and Jagdish Nikita have joined. Is there anyone else from your side? If yes, then please tell them to raise their hands. Raise their hand.
So this is team 2. There are no members who will be joining.
Okay, great. So you can just share your initial screen and then wait. Yeah, please wait. I'll mention when to start. So before that, I'll just tell what are the things. So after the 13th minute, we'll give a buzzer or a ring. So this is how it will sound. Okay. So this is how it will sound. So you guys can wrap up your presentation within the next 2 minutes. After that, there will be a 5-minute Q&A session, and then your presentation will end. Okay. So please wait. I'll tell when to start. All the best.
Can we have like a quick presentation run through just to see if you can see the slides changing on your end?
No, that is not allowed. That is not allowed. We'll just start off directly at 12:05.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just please let us know if you feel like we should, if the slides aren't moving on your end.
Actually, you should be able to see as soon as we are about to present, our slides will change. So let us know if the slides haven't changed by then, okay?
Soon. Sure. There has not been any issue of that sort till now. But then if there is, then we'll mention.
Okay,
That would be great.
Yeah, team 2, you can start.
great then.
A quick audio video test. Please just say yes if you can hear us and see us.
The slide has changed,
Yep,
right?
yep. Yeah, the slide has changed. Your time has already started.
I will give a quick countdown. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Food wastage hurts the world at every stage. It wastes important resources, spreads diseases, and globally affects climate change way more than the airline industry. Now, imagine that you are a superhero tackling global issues one at a time. To tackle food wastage, you could make 1 kg of wasted food disappear every second. And for your reference, that's more than 1 heavy dinner per second. Now, take a moment for how long it would take you to finish what is wasted globally in 1 year. It would take you 500 consecutive human lifetimes to finish all of that. And 500 human lifetimes ago, we were literally in the Stone Age. We weren't thinking about reusable rockets, drone deliveries, and 3D printing. We were thinking about how to start a fire. Today, 1/3 of the food that we produce is wasted. That's 1.3 billion tons of food, amounting to a loss of 1 trillion US dollars. And more than 60% of that comes from households. But this isn't caused by people being ignorant of this issue. Millennials have shown recognition of global warming and climate change and have been collectivizing for improvement. But tracking all the food you have, ensuring that you don't have too much or too little, that you're avoiding food poisoning by consuming it before it spoils, that you're able to access variety while staying within your budget, that you are eating healthy, but again in a way that is enjoyable to you, is incredibly overwhelming. And to simplify that is where we at Tagit come in.
So today in our presentation, we will be taking you through our proposed solutions, followed by the market, the customers that we are targeting, and finally our plan ahead for the future. Tagit offers a smart inventory management system that allows you to track your food whenever and wherever. It's a versatile IoT solution which can be controlled from the comfort of your smartphone. Every unit comes with a gas sensor to detect spoilage, LED lights to notify and bring visibility to food status, and a touch sensor to detect when you are removing food tagged to it. Our current prototype costs us 785 rupees to make, but with economies of scale and customized components, we can secure a reduction of 76%, bringing the final unit cost to 185 rupees. We are currently a B2C company, and along with our tracking devices, we offer a subscription service to unlock premium features like diet and nutrition tracking, recipe recommendation, and multiple account linking. So what does the user experience for Tagit look like? We make your fridge smart. The biggest reason behind food wastage is not knowing when food spoils. Imagine every time you open your fridge, foods that are about to spoil within the next couple days light up and grab your attention. The visual reminder system we provide is a game changer when it comes to fridge management and tackles the biggest problem of all, visibility. It's easy to tag eat all kinds of foods. Our devices are modular and can be attached to any kind of packaging. Our easy to watch strap attachment allows you to tag leafy veggies, and our slide on chip allows you to close and store smaller packets of food. Foods like meats or cooked foods are extremely susceptible to spoilage and may cause food poisoning if not consumed in time. Our device's unique slotting mechanism allows you to attach it to the inside of such food containers and track any food spoilage to avoid potential food poisoning effectively through temperature, humidity, and gas sensing.
आज रात को खाने में क्या बनाना है is a question that plagues almost all Indian households, that too on a daily basis. Answering this question is often a complex optimization problem, which takes into account what all stuff you have, how soon it is going to get spoiled, and what people at home actually like. Now, deciding dinner is as easy as opening the Tag Eat app. We recommend recipes based on the foods you have available, especially the ones that need to be consumed soon, while suiting your dietary preferences and tastes. We automatically update the quantities of food remaining in your fridge according to the recipe you use and the portions you make so that you don't have to. What can't be measured cannot be controlled. We help you control your diet by offering calorie and nutrition tracking with our recipes. Include your dietary preferences in the app to receive recipes and meal plans tailored to your lifestyle, be it keto, paleo, low carb, high protein, or even vegan. We will soon integrate our features with popular health and fitness apps like Healthify Me, Nike NRC Plus, making staying healthy easier than ever before. By reviewing your usage history, the amount of food you use in a week, and tracking what you buy, we help you make more informed shopping decisions. Additionally, we compare offers for items across major e-supermarkets like Blinkit, Instamart, and Big Basket to give you the best offers on the needed item. You now know exactly how much of a food to buy and the most economical way to buy them. Using the Tag Eat is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Simply scan the device you want to tag and the groceries with on the app. Input data about the groceries, such as what it is, how much is bought, and it automatically recommends to you how long it might be fresh. Lastly, just tag the groceries with the device and store. You can now check its status on the Tag Eat app anytime and anywhere. But it gets even easier. If you have a bill from your local supermarket, use the Tag Eat app scanner to scan the bill. You will be prompted to update the respective groceries without having to scan individual devices. We even have voice-activated command integration with Alexa and Siri. All you need to do is to tell your voice assistant to just add the grocery quantities and you're done. You can also get fridge updates from your voice assistant, which can tell you the quantity and the quality of packed foods in the fridge.
Is this a solution that we really need? We conducted surveys to validate our concept and execution. Most responses received were from business professionals, followed by students. The surveys revealed that there is currently a space in the food inventory management market in the personal level that we can target and make an impact on the food wastage crisis. So let's talk about how much of a change we could make. Our estimates project that we can save over 2.7 billion kilograms of food from being wasted every year. Further, by saving this food, we can reduce over 6 billion kilograms of carbon emissions generated simply by food production. With the food we save, we can feed all the hungry people of the Democratic Republic of Congo twice over. That is the country with the world's worst hit food crisis. But how do we get there? And what does the market look like? Well, we'd say it looks pretty promising. We estimate a total available market of 5.4 billion US dollars based on the socioeconomic status of people around the world and their population density. Factoring in geography and market penetration into account, we estimate a serviceable obtainable market of $300 million. And in this journey, we have identified our stakeholders as the following. Among these, the most prioritized ones are investors and collaborators such as Swiggy, Blinkit, and other platforms. This prioritization is based on the amount of influence they would have in our decision making and their interest in the company's success. So, how does the average customer we target look like? Currently, we are targeting Indians aged 20 to 45 of the urban middle to upper class. They make up approximately 4% of India's total population, which comes out to 15 million people.
We have segmented our customer base into 3 profiles. This is best explained by the examples of Arun, Ara, and Arushi. Arun here, like most young adults, is just starting out and is a frugal foodie. He wants to be able to make inexpensive, tasty food at home without compromising on the variety of dishes. For Arun, our features which recommend the optimal restocking quantities and the item lifetimes would be extremely helpful to ensure low wastage while getting used to cooking regularly. In addition, our repository of recipes across cuisines, which take into account the urgency of food's freshness, would provide him the mental comfort of exploring without it affecting his other choices. Arav here is planning on trying to stick to his somewhat difficult to pursue vegan diet. He does not want his food and health to be affected by the sudden fall in food options. Our app's nutrition tracking and restocking suggestions would make it much simpler for him to adjust to his new lifestyle. With balanced, diet friendly meal plans along with diet specific restocking, we can make this transition hassle free for him. Arushi here is a working professional who lives with her flatmates. Living with other people significantly complicates fridge management. Arushi wants to know the fridge contents at the end of the day while commuting back from work without bothering her flatmates so that she can get the necessary stuff on the go. Our app's multiple account linking helps her do exactly that, but much more efficiently. She can now get live updates on food and raw materials of the fridge's contents and also have her financial contribution towards home meals directly accounted for in the app's history. But how do we reach these people? Since we are a B2C, we plan to use two primary delivery channels. Most of our products would be made available via e-commerce websites like Amazon and Flipkart. We expect 75% of the sales to be made through this indirect channel, where we take advantage of their platform's popularity and wide consumer base. The remaining 25% of the product sales is expected to be made through our product website and the Tagit app, directly connecting us to our consumer.
Our customer acquisition plan follows the traditional steps of awareness, consideration, and conversion. We plan to spread product awareness much before launch using digital marketing, especially on social media. We will also make our website and product easy to find by using search engine optimization. Next, we will push influencer marketing and make product targeted content to publicize on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Alongside this, we will initiate referral programs to ensure a quick spreading of our brand and product by word of mouth. Finally, we will provide complementary tagging devices by partnering with retail stores offering freebies with their sold refrigerators and food grocery delivery services. This will allow customers to access a trial use of our product and encourage them to buy more of it as soon as they see it make a change in their lifestyle. We plan to retain our customers through two main methods. The first promotes greater app usage by offering them special offers on services of Taggy and those of its potential collaborators like Swiggy, Blinkit, and more through online and offline. With our subscription model, which has additional health features, we also go a step further in offering more discounts, which are member exclusive on these apps. Putting it quantitatively, our business metrics are as follows. The average customer has a lifetime value of 13,850 rupees. We expect to spend over 100 rupees to acquire a customer and 30 rupees to further retain them as a user. From each customer, we can expect an average revenue of 1,400 rupees. This slide summarizes our go-to-market strategy by showing our manufacturing and distribution strategy across the various phases of our company's growth. But who are our competitors and how do we fare against them? Management software such as FreshFridge, Bring, and Kozo, along with smart fridges, comprise our main competition. Our comparison chart is based on factors of efficacy, user input, ease of usage, adaptability, future scope, and emissive efficiency. Smart fridges are more than 230 times expensive than us, while purely software-based apps rely extensively on human input and initiative, making them hard to use and counterintuitive. We stand out as we are able to strike the right balance between affordability and efficacy.
So, what are our plans for the future going ahead? According to our plans, in 2 more months, we will be rolling out the app and website and start reaching out to early customers. After 3 months of use, we will have data on the market validation of the product and begin accommodating the customer feedback we receive to fine-tune the product. After 2 more months, we hope to secure venture capital funding for the improved version of the product in October. And finally, we will set up marketing channels and hire employees as we launch the product by the end of 2022. In the future, we plan to design and produce fully automated smart inventory solutions, robust enough for professional restaurants to utilize through smart food containers. So, what do our finances look like? Through our financial projections, we estimate breaking even at 18 months from the beginning of our product launch. In 1 year from then, we will be able to deliver a valuation of 50 crore rupees with 74% annual growth in valuation for the next year. Our worst case and best case scenarios have been computed with respect to the success of initial visibility. This would change the break-even time from 18 months to the range of 15 to 24 months. With our product, we aim to declutter groceries, diets, meal plans, and health. Live a more organized, holistic, and a rewarding life with Tagit. Scan the QR code shown on the slide to download the app now. We can demonstrate the prototype demo for you now, and we are open for questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, teams. So, panelists, we are open to questions now. The time starts now.
I wanted to know how you're going to track the health of a vegetable and how you're going to track the health of a, say, packed food, maybe milk.
Okay. So we are distributing our food items in terms of two cooked food items for which you're going to place the taggy inside the container, and other food items such as milk, which comes with expiry dates, and vegetables. For cooked food, because they are susceptible to spoilage, we will be using our temperature, humidity, and gas sensors to detect when it spoils and how long it's going to stay fresh based on the environmental conditions. For other items of food, we aren't detecting their freshness levels directly. We are using the environmental data to see how that would affect their final lifetime. So for example, let's say you get 1 kg of bananas from Sahkari Bhandar. Based on your previous data, we tell you that it's going to stay fresh for 5 days. And let's say you don't take proper care of it and you keep it outside and don't put it in the fridge, we will update it to most likely lifespan of 3 days. So that's how the distribution of our products work.
Okay, got it.
So is it possible to reduce the price of the Nugget device going further? Yeah, like so M50 will be like too high for people, right?
Right. So currently we have priced our device very economically because we want to encourage people to pick up the subscription service, which we foresee is a much better long-term alternative. And even right now, we are only selling our product at a premium of about 30% from the cost price. It costs us 185 to make, and we are only putting a 65 rupee increase on that and selling the device at 250. Our additional revenue streams may include the clips that Taggy come with and the straps.
Just adding on to that, going forward, if we are able to find an investor who would allow us access to really good vendor strategy, who would offer us discounts so that we can lower the price from 185 to like further, let's say to down to 150, we can basically retain the same margins as now and lower the selling price in the future as well. The current projections are based on the fact that our investors aren't allowing us to access newer and improved vendor strategies than what we are expecting at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think a typical home will require the number of tag devices? How many of them?
Currently, we are estimating that an average customer would buy around 5 Taggy devices. Because while you may have many groceries at home, the one that you may want to monitor may be around 5 only. We're talking about quickly perishable items and vegetables that you may buy in bulk and need to monitor.
That way you are not doing half a job of it?
So the current estimation takes into account the initial inertia that the users may have in terms of adapting to a product. So this is the level that we are estimating for the years from now. Once they see the impact it's making on their lives, or like the number of recipes that they can track into, or the nutrition tracking, which would become so much better with more devices, we expect them to buy more according to their preference. But our worst case scenario gives us an average of 5 devices per user.
Okay. Thanks.
Do the other panelists have any queries?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, okay. Ravitej sir, Rishabh sir, I think no queries. Okay then.
We do highly encourage you to scan the QR code, download the app, and see for yourself. And if you want us to show you a tiny 30-second product demo video, that's
Yes,
fine.
please. We have that 30
Yeah.
seconds. Please.
Right. Give me a moment. I will share my screen.
I hope that you can see the screen
You
now.
can see the screen, right?
Yeah, the screen is visible. Please
So
go.
on the right hand side, we have our current prototype, which is rather bulky, and we will demonstrate the prototype's IoT and touch sensor capabilities. So
Let's set the time remaining for these cucumbers to 1 week. In the final product, the ideal lifetime would be recommended to you, needing you to do only minor changes in the number of days. On touch, you can see the prototype glow green. Next, we'll set the shelf life to 3 days. You can now see that the prototype is glowing yellow. Finally, on setting the shelf life to 1 day, that is making it extremely urgent and ready, like immediate consumption, the prototype glows red. And we hope that this video
help you understand it a little better. Now, understand the actual product that we make is going to be
Sorry,
much
Jagdish.
smaller.
Jagdish, I would like to stop you here. We have crossed the time limit, but thank you for your presentation. I hope the judges are also satisfied. So, thank you, team two. You can stop sharing the screen.
Thank you for your time. Bye
It
bye.
it was nice.
Thank you, team. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you.
So, team three, can you please raise your hands? Team three. Yeah, I'll give you the access. Can all of you please raise your hands? I'll give it together. Okay, I'll first give to Ankit and then Shashwat. Please wait. So, Ankit, okay, Lalit has also raised his hand. Just a minute. So, Ankit, Shashwat, and Lalit, these are the three people. Is there anyone else from your team?
Yes, two more are joining.
So, please ask them to join immediately. I'll just give a brief demo, of the buzzer. So, after 13th minute, immediately after the 13th minute ends, we'll sound a buzzer, which will sound like this. Okay, so after that you'll have to wrap up your presentation within 2 minutes, and then after that there will be a 5-minute Q&A session, and then the entire presentation is done. So your time will start exactly at 12:30. So one of you can share your screen. Please ask your teammates to join urgently.
Okay, so Shalu and Ishan have raised their hands, so give them the access.
I've given access to Shalu, but Ishan, okay, he has not raised his hand yet. Yeah, Ishan, I can see. So you can try sharing your screen. Okay, so this is your screen, right? Okay, the time will start when I say so. Judges, please note, this is team 3.
Yeah.
You can start. Please start, your time has already started.
Good afternoon. We are Team 3 and we chose the agriculture domain to work on. Now, the question is why we chose agriculture. After searching, surveying, and brainstorming each domain, we found agriculture as a topic that will benefit local people and the nation both. After finalizing the topic, we did some research and we found out that India ranks 101 out of 116 countries as per GHI 2020, which shows the need of food in our country. As per an estimate, in coming 1 century, we will need the amount of food equal to the amount of food needed in past 8,000 years. In India, there is a drastic change in climate. For example, in hilly areas, the maximum temperature is 40 and the minimum temperature is -1, which affects the crop productivity adversely. So there's a lot of improvements required in agriculture. Also, employment in agriculture is decreasing and the population of India is increasing. In our institute, research is going on in the field of agriculture, and we have NSS and courses like ISTP, which will work on social problems. So we chose to work in agriculture domain. We did a survey. We did a survey with local farmers to know their problems. The problem faced by farmers were lack of weather-based dynamic advisory for their crops, due to which the crop productivity reduced, then protecting the crop from harsh cold weathers and getting an idea of the optimum requirement of pesticides and fertilizers specific to their fields. Knowing various parameters, lack of connectivity because of remote locations are also the problems. Also, if they're having a device, they want the safety of their device. So, for solving these problems, our device will give the advice based on weather. The farmer will get alert on the mobile phone about the weather and the advice based on that. For frost damage, when the temperature goes low, the farmer can switch on the anti-frost system, which will trigger the irrigation system and fill the entire crop with water. The reason of it is that water have high specific heat, which will protect the bursting of roots. Through the app, the farmer get the optimum amount of pesticides and fertilizers required for their field, and also the heat map of the important parameters like soil temperature, soil moisture, and nutrients. We will consult the farmers in remote location, and for safety, we use the GPS system. Now comes to the shortlisting of designs. First, we thought of drone technology, but it acquires technical knowledge by farmers. And also, the maintenance of drone is quite difficult with more energy consumption. Then we thought of a bot, but the same problem of technical skills by farmers, more energy consumption, and also the high cost. So, after understanding all the limitations, we finally settled down to a static device with less energy consumption, low cost, low maintenance, and easy to use by farmers.
Now the problem statement is that
we are making a system to overcome all the problems which were highlighted by farmers during our survey. The first, the first solution our product is giving, we are helping farmers for automatic cultivation. We are advising farmers the optimal amount of pesticide and fertilizers. We are also giving heat maps of temperature of soil and similar maps for nutrients, moistures. And we are also helping farmers to overcome the effect of change in temperature during winters. Now the uniqueness and competitors. The most unique feature of our device is addition of attachment sensors. We can add attachment sensor based on the requirement of specific crop, and auto updation of code in the device, and just by adding a new sensor, and also auto updation of our mobile app which we are making. We are also making a farmer network, and the most important thing of our solution is that we are consulting farmers based on the data collected. We are giving personalized consulting to for all the crops. Now coming to the competitors of our device. These two competitors are the best competitors in the market at present. First one is making a drone-based data collection system. Second one is making a soil-based data collection system. But none of the competitor is making a complete solution. Like they are not giving the consulting. They are not giving uh, uh, they are not giving features of overcoming
So now let's move on to the testing part, as it has helped us identify and shortlist the important factors to monitor soil, plant growth, and yield. Based on them, we shortlisted the sensors that should be included in the basic device and as an additional attachment, that is, for the upgradation of a device, and came up with the current model. We used the Node MCU variant for small farms and LoRaWAN with Arduino variant for large farms, giving the scalability feature. The TH NPK pH sensor gives the NPK and the pH reading for optimal nutrient addition, temperature and soil moisture reading for irrigation purposes. The DHT11 sensor monitors environmental temperature and humidity as it affects photosynthesis, leaf growth of the plant. The GPS module is used to map the farm, ensure security of the devices, and ensure that each device is placed at equal distance in the farm. The I2C ports are provided for upgrading the device with more sensors like UV, soil EC, etc. Each IoT device on the field will communicate with a main cloud-based server, which will analyze the incoming data from each device and provide notification, alerts, and live monitoring on the app. And it will also provide a graphical analysis for the previous data on a weekly basis. The reading of the sensors can be seen on a laptop terminal screen in the video.
Customer segmentation. Customer segmentation is the key aspect for any business and venture. The customer in our domain can be segmented into 4 bands. Those bands are small scale farmers, medium scale farmers, large scale farmers, and urban agriculture. This band classification is based on their knowledge level, land holdings, implementation readiness, income level, and etc. Most often, it becomes quite difficult and tricky to reach out to the farmers in the field of agriculture. And to tackle this problem, we have identified various delivery channels for our effective product delivery. Some of those are various government schemes, as they are the most prominent and amid for all kind of farmers. NGOs. NGOs are another effective delivery channels, as they are working on the ground level and whom farmer can trust. Few other delivery channels are online stores, special operation and campaigns. Now, let's have a look on various NGOs and schemes in India which are farmer-centric. The Asa Sanstha, providing low-cost technological solutions for farmers. End Poverty, which target poor, landless, and marginal farmers. Swadesh Foundation, focusing on health, education, and economic development by using the modern technology. Watershed Organization Trust, aiming on agriculture, climate change adaptation, training, and etc. Some other NGOs and agro schemes are Ruti, Seven Sister Development Assistance, National E-commerce Plan in Agriculture, strengthening promoting agriculture in information systems.
Now, as we talk about our customers, let's talk about acquisition and retention. So for acquisition, social campaigns and partnering with NGOs, government, and local village panchayats to pitch our product will create awareness on the latest trends and also our product. Running pilot projects with farmers, taking farmland on lease or on voluntary basis so that our teams can show the improved yield, both in terms of quality and quantity. Using the help of social media and print media, we can project these success stories to attract new customers. Apart from that, in future, we can discover more challenging land or crops with special needs and conditions so that our R&D team can work on a new version and hence satisfy a wide spectrum of different farm needs all over the world. So for retention, as we launch a startup initially, the customers or the farmers that will work with us initially will be very influential as their word of mouth will help us retaining the existing customer base and to acquire new customers as they prosper alongside us. For example, in India, financial conditions of farmers are not stable. For example, there's a bad season of cultivation due to weather or pending loans or crop infection or disease, which can create to an unseen financial instability. So, to retain such customers, we can provide discounts or financial solutions so that they can pay later but still keep on using our products. Let's talk about the minimum viable product, the MVP. So, the following sensors, the soil sensor, the DHT11 sensor, the node MCU, the LORA sensor, and the GPS sensor will be included in the MVP. Our product initially will be based on two variants with different ranges. Now, following are the table for soil sensors, DHT11 sensor, the node MCU sensor. These are the specifications of the all sensors which will be included in the MVP product. Market plan. So we are all familiar with the concept of smart cities, smart homes. On the similar lines, we'll launch our product in a smart village with the potential for our product. The IEEE Smart Village scheme is one such initiative, apart from the Smart Village of India. A special team can be created with the sole purpose of establishing customer relations and working on the ground level. The idea is to basically invest in farmlands with our own capital initially. In this way, we can help the village community to implement our product in their fields and then show them that how beneficial this can be for their crop. In future, there's also a market of urban agriculture and vertical farming, which also holds a large amount of potential for our product. Now, based on these success stories, these sites, our marketing team and promotional teams will leverage them to expand our product all over the world. Success metrics. Now, for every venture, we need to judge the success of it. So, for our venture, we decided these following three factors to judge the success. Acres covered. So, this is our prime milestone because the more land we cover, the more revenue we'll generate and the more people we'll reach. For example, Zomato says how many people they have served. Next, the number of farmers we'll support. Now, as we bring more smiles to the farm community by improving their yield, which in turn will improve their livelihoods, this will impact our story and hence create more customers. Types of crops and terrains covered. Our initial goal is to target a specific type of terrain and crops, but eventually we'll expand this and hence as more crops we add, the more success we'll get. As for the adoption process, we'll identify these sites based on our research and then start working on these 5 to 10 potential sites all over India and cover around 5 acres of land in each of these sites. The cost analysis of the prototype. So, as we talked about, there are two variants, basically differing on the communication module of the product, as the field size is large or small. So, these costs are basically of the initial prototype, but as we go in manufacturing, the actual product cost will be quite lesser than this. The business model. So, our business model is basically a hybrid of a product-based service and a service-based service. So IOTA will initially provide our product from online stores and other channels that we discussed earlier to agro-MNCs and farmers in rural as well as urban areas. So basically, we'll charge them for installation, servicing fee, our products, and there's also an app-based subscription, which because we'll initially provide the subscription that we initially provide with our product will only contain a certain amount of factors and certain amount of analysis. If the farmer or if the customers need more detailed analysis, then we can charge an app subscription for more detailed analysis. Milestones. So let's discuss our milestone. As we discussed, our initial pilot project will focus on 5 to 10 slides, covering these district regions and covering the urban areas, and then eventually covering the global landscape, attracting international partnerships and new investors.
Okay. So now let's take a look at a UI proposal for farmer-centric IT solution. We have developed the UI for IOTA application, and it was designed by keeping ease of use for our farmers in our mind. It has a user-friendly interface, multilingual feature, easy access from any device, and a one-point solution to add, modify, and update the IOTA device. We also we also don't have any ad-based revenue from our app. Some of the features that we provide are language selection, alerts, notification, and current crop stage on homepage, advisory, feeds, GPS, the opportunity to connect with us directly or with the existing farmer community, the monitoring and control feature, store and add modify crops feature. So some of the key features of our app are the monitoring and control feature, from where the farmers can easily monitor the readings of each device and control the irrigation, nutrients providing system, and trigger the anti-frost feature. The store and add modify crop feature, it provides the farmer an easy way to configure the IOTA device for the newly added crop or a newly purchased sensor by connecting the device with their phone via a USB cable and selecting the newly added things and pressing configure. On this slide, you can see some of the pics for UI and a short clip of it. Finally, let's look at the expansion of a device to various other domains. It can easily be extended to home gardens and cold storage by using sensors as per requirements from one of the from the ones already present in the device and the upgrade options, and updating our application and database to configure it accordingly. Imagine comfortably sitting on your couch at your homes and monitoring and controlling your garden by just using a simple app and devices like Alexa, Siri, or Google Home to get an excellent organic crops from your garden. So these are the references that we have used. Thank you, and now we are open to questions.
Okay, thank you, team. And judges, the time for the question answering session starts now.
Can you add few details about the actual product that will go to the user or farmer?
Okay, so the actual product, it will basically be a kind of tower structure which will be around 25 centimeter tall and 80 by 76 in width and length. So it will be including all those sensors like the TH NPK pH sensor, and around 15 to 20 centimeter of the device will be buried inside the ground, as the NPK pH sensor needs to be at that point in the ground. And we will be equipping with all of the sensors also will be included in the device. And we also plan to add around 4 devices per hectare of the field. And the I2C ports will be provided in the upper part of the device, from where they can easily connect various sensors and configure it using from that point. And you can see the model of the device on the screen. So this is the main device that will be basically going to the farmers.
Okay.
And also, as you mentioned, for a bigger farm sector, right? You have selected the LoRa module. What is the criteria of selection for that?
So okay, in the criteria of selection for that was, when we saw some bigger farms, so there was basically some difficulty in the node MCU communication part. So because in these other variant we were using node MCU, and so after that we saw other communication modules, and we came up with LoRa module, as it was cheap, as well as it had a wide range of communication. Like it can communicate over 10 kilometers, and even some LoRa modules have a range of even greater than that.
Mm-hmm. And is this power saving also design is also taken consideration about all the devices?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all from my side. Anyone has any question?
So yeah, one question from my side. Like, heard that initially before, like some capital is required, right, to acquire some land and show the demo to the farmers and all. And also, what kind of investment, or like, are you expecting some kind of initial investment from any people, or can you give more details on that, some on the capital side?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, sure. So, as we talked about our initial pilot launch, so the investment we are looking is like to acquire the farmland, we'll need capital. To care for the team that we are standing for the groundwork, we'll need capital there. For our initial products, we are looking for investors in the sector of mostly in government sectors, the agro sector, and as the various schemes are already there, around 10 to 15 lakhs per site will be required.
Yeah, that again depends on where you're trying to procure the site,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 exactly. So
Other
that will,
challenges also involved if you are. So did you analyze, like, did you get a chance to analyze, like, what all challenges would be there to, I mean, get the support from the government authorities or like from the agro sector, like especially from the agro sector?
yeah. So the most difficult challenge actually we are facing is like the penetration in the market. So, like these rural farmers, they are very hard to penetrate, and to talk about them in such a way like investing them in their fields is a very tough task for us. So for example, the NGOs will renting land. Some of the NGOs are already acquiring lands from these small scale farmers, and this rent land can be used. And in fact, as the stakeholders are also the farmers in this, so we'll provide them the money as they are taking a risk on their produce for that season.
Okay.
Okay, so do any other panelists have any queries? Manas, Ravitej sir asked, I guess. So, does anyone else have any query? I think
That's
no.
it, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, team. You can stop presenting your screen.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah.
And
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good work.
presentation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Team 5, could you please raise your hand now? I think it is. Sorry. It is. Sorry, my bad. So, team 1, can you please raise your hand? Team 1, please raise your hands. Yeah.
Hello, am I visible?
You're audible,
Okay.
but
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now.
yeah, you can share your screen and then wait.
Okay, sure. Just let me know if the screen is visible now.
Yeah.
Okay. Can my other teammates confirm that their audio is working now?
Hello.
Yes.
So I've given the access to everyone who had
Okay.
raised their hands.
Okay.
So you can wait till I
55.
mention when to start. Yeah.
Okay.
Before that, I'll just tell the modalities.
Sure.
So in the 13th minute, after the 13th minute ends, immediately after that, we'll sound buzzer. So it will sound something like this. So this is a indicator for you to wrap up your presentation within the next 2 minutes. So after the 15 minutes, then after that, the judges will have 5 minutes to uh, ask some queries, and then after that we are done with the
Okay,
presentations.
great.
Okay, yeah. So please wait till 12:55. I'll mention when to start.
Sure.
Then you can start. Yeah.
Sure, great. Thank you so much.
So yeah. So could you just remove that tab that is coming at the bottom? You can
Okay.
just hide it. Judges, please note, this is team one.
Sure.
Okay, Lavish has also asked for speaker
Yes.
access. I'll give him.
Yes, thank you.
Your time starts now.
Okay, great. Hello, Sharks. We are Fashircle, a company that creates a network to circularize the waste of the fashion industry. Our pitch is to circularize the fashion industry by connecting manufacturers with other manufacturers and recycling units to make waste transfer seamless, automatic, and intuitive, and to eliminate post-consumer fashion waste with smart dustbins, segregation, and recycling unit. For the industries we are targeting, we are getting them the best price for their waste and save their space, time, and effort as well. But how, you ask? You will find out soon. But before that, let us talk about the market. Fiber production in the entire world is ever increasing, and this also means increased waste. The global apparel market of India is projected at 135 billion US dollars. India's textile and apparel exports amount to 65 US billion dollars. See the rightmost column. The apparel has the highest contribution at 30 US billion dollars. But when we come to imports, the highest contribution is from fiber and fabric. This is because India has strong manufacturing hubs in Delhi, Surat, Ludhiana, and some other parts. It also employs 45 million people directly. But though the market size is humongous, the issue of overproduction is there. Only 30% clothes are sold at an actual retail price. 30% have to be sold at lowered prices, while the remaining 40% just becomes waste. Sharks, I want you to understand. Fash Circle is the best bet you have for tackling fashion waste to make sure that these things never happen. The huge amount of fashion waste has been bothering the entire world. And while some businesses have tried to address the issue, but as you can expect, with very little impact. Why? Because when we speak about such a big issue, we need each and every stakeholder involved to become a part of the circular economy. Only then big dents are a sure case. What is unique about our product is that along with using IoT, we have also added the use of blockchain, which ensures transparency and also safety during transactions. We can set up our own segregation and recycling units as well. Our product can easily be extended to other verticals or industries and can potentially save a lot of people from different kinds of exploitation. By increasing trust, transparency, and profits, end consumers and industries are the some of the most crucial stakeholders. Several communities and government as well benefit from the circular economy due to the waste reductions and by improving the health of the environment. Sustainability credits is a fun word to explain that the manufacturers and industries can also get tax reductions by using our model, as it can also become a part of the CSR activities.
So here we'll present in where our business comes into picture. We will be operating upon the linear economy of discarded cloth that is ending up in the landfills. We'll be coming up solutions to convert it back to the circular economy and to make the product out of it. Next slide, please. Here is our business model presenting how we'll achieve this. What we will do. We will be operating between discarded textiles and recyclers, providing in services for buying and selling solution for the textile waste, and further will be promoting in a key role in segregating raw material for recycling industries, so that the rubber industries will can easily get in the nylon fabric if they need in for their recycling purposes. They no longer link to Dokobon here and there, they just come only to us. We'll be promoting in the smart bin concept. Next slide, please. So here I present in front of you all our business model canvas, presenting in our market, suppliers, activities, proposition. I would like to specifically mention the customer segments will be tackling, which includes recycling mills, textile mills, soft toys, rubber industries. These are the industries which might be less known to us, but they are operating to remove the textile waste around the globe, and will be promoting those. The cost structure is research and development, smart pins, technology, logistics, licensing, and marketing. Revenue stream, I'll now talk in the next slides. So we'll be operating on a total of four channels. That is commission on transaction that is happening in our blockchain and our application. The second mode of income is to set up an IoT ecosystem and get in an income from the manufacturing side, the manufacturer part. The third part is revenue from waste segregated. The garbage and the unsold waste, we will segregate it in our phase 2 of our plan, and we will sell it to the recycling industries to promote it. The fourth in our green ecosystem subscription. That is an assurance to the company that every cloth it produces will not going to be land up in a landfill, but it will be circularized in a green economy. Next slide, please. Here we mention in our proposed milestone plan for the first year, we will launch the product, then increase the reach in the supply chain, then promote into the RFID tag, and then to the setting of the smart bins, and then we'll reach into almost our phase 2 completion. Next slide, please. Here we propose in our solution, our system in impact versus feasibility metrics. As you can see in the RFID that we propose in has highest impact, but kind of a least feasible as of now. But as we increase the awareness, it will grow in. And further, the solution of expanding the chain to end consumer is highly impactful as feasible, as the consumer nowadays are very well tackling and resistant about the environment impact of whatever they are utilizing. Next slide, please. This is our SWOT analysis, and our strength basically includes the blockchain and the getting the best price for the waste. Further, the weaknesses include the RFID that people might be less aware, but we can promote it and can convert it to our strength. The threats might be that new players can copy in, but they don't no longer be having the technology and the first mover advantage that we do have. We have a good opportunity to scale up, set up our own recycling units, and to build upon a further franchisee model. Next slide, please. This is a utilization of our key risk mitigation, where we'll tell you about the how we'll tackle the through new players through our marketing and the loyalty customer strategies. We will tackle in the customers through our personalized data and stakeholder techniques, and also government recognition to boost in the green economy in the market. Next slide, please. Also, we have analyzed our business model on various parameter of cost analysis. And as you can see, there is a capital expenditure with the cost that is taken from the outstanding market prices. Next slide. Here is the revenue expenditure for different system that we'll be utilizing. Next slide, please. Further continue the revenue expenditure of RFID, IoT ecosystem, and further all the cost of the things that we can be think upon. Next slide. So this comes the main part. This is our revenue analysis, where revenue from each and a specific source is being written. And you can see in our sales is growing through an exponential way from the very first year to the fifth year, 37 to growing again. Next slide, please. And this is our profit loss statement. In first year, we are generating a loss of 26 lakhs, but further we'll be operating upon on a very good profit that is increasing year by year. Next slide, please. And this is our cash flow statement representing all the necessary factors. Next slide, please. This is our balance sheet with the assets and slides. Next slide. This is our cash flow statement. One next slide, please. Yeah, this is the main part where we mention in our payback period, we will break even in the fourth year, and we are very profitable. That we just want to show it from the slide. Yeah. And this timeline shows us how we'll incorporate from phase 1 to phase 4, from registering to smart bin concept, and phase 3 setting our own recycling unit through franchisee model, and last one is extended phase. Next slide.
So, Fast Circle has far reaching consequences. Due to the increased transparency, reduced risk, and more profits, we create a sustainable and resilient economy. Along with that, we protect the social communities most vulnerable to exploitation by the industry. And we, of course, save a large amount of carbon emissions by handling waste efficiently. We are also aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, see the encircled ones. We also have done a pestle analysis to better explain the effects in different domains. Now comes to marketing. Marketing is a part of every business which is done to attract attention and create demand. These are the target customer segments: the top to middle tier textile manufacturers, textile recycling units, and the new and existing businesses that can utilize recycled fabric. And these are the core human drives we would be addressing: physiological needs by increasing profits, safety needs by secure transactions, and psychological needs by being environment friendly. The points of market entry would include the following: large-scale garbage collectors, logistics companies, and the Google searches leading to our websites through ads. We would first be getting into the market of New Delhi, as it offers one of the highest concentration of manufacturers and recycling units, which makes this the most viable and feasible option for the network. The go-to-market strategy would work closely with the sales funnel by first raising awareness through door-to-door calling and demonstrations, by creating interest through visualization and focusing on core human drives, by offering a 2-month free trial to make decision making easier, and to give them personalized stats to encourage action. Acquiring a customer is one thing, but to retain is a different ballgame. We would be focusing on keeping a reliable customer support, in-app recommendations, along with other things to retain the customer. And of course, we want to know where exactly we are going right or wrong. Since we have a blockchain network and an app as well, we have included several success metrics for each stream at each stage while using the AARM framework.
The major technology that we are using is RFID. RFID means radio frequency identification. We are using passive RFID wireless system of tags and readers. It offers us complete efficiency in the most cost-effective manner in asset tracking. Now coming on to our most viable, minimum viable product MVP. IoT embedded system along with blockchain and website interface forms the most basic version of our product that the company will launch in the market. Product chain. The manufacturer, supplier, distributor, retailer, and the customer are linked with IoT and blockchain system. Firstly, the RFID tag will be attached to the cloth. It can be stitched inside the seams of the clothing or added to the fiber bundle. A two-way radio transmitter receiver called the reader will be installed in the manufacturing plant to read and write the tag. It will be powered and coded with Arduino Uno. The RFID tag is attached to clothes, which transmits the stored data to the reader wirelessly. This, this data will be transmitted to RFID database and the blockchain to get stored and evaluated. Similarly, the retailers, suppliers, and distributors will read and write the tag for information and tracking. Once the product reaches the customer, it has the RFID tag attached to it, which contains all the useful information about the cloth, fabric, fiber, manufacturer, and production process. Finally, when the cloth is being dumped, SmartBin will help in sorting the cloth for recycling. Here we have the dashboard of our website, where the user can register his products for sale. Once done, the system deploys two RFID modules in the industry along with a node in the blockchain. The user can register the product under a unique user ID. Once the product is out on dashboard, it can be used for further transaction. Once the user buys the product and gets it, the RFID is scanned and new information is stored after removing the previous data. Smart Bin. Now this slide will help you understand the working of our Smart Bin. Firstly, all of the dump clothes are collected in the big waste bin and rolled on to the conveyor belt. The RFID reader above the conveyor belt scans the tag and sorts the item by passing into different collection bins. Once the bins are full, the depth sensor detects it and generates command to send the clothes out to recycle. The working process. The RFID scanner and chips, blockchain, and website. RFID sensor and chips will help in asset tracking and reading and writing the tag. The blockchain will promise transparency in the system and store all the useful information. The website will host the useful information and provide secure gateway for transaction. Now let me tell you the flow of information throughout the supply chain by comparing the front end and the back end process. For the seller, in the front end, he can post the product on the website, and in the back end, simultaneously a node will be generated in the blockchain containing all the useful information. The buyer can shop on the website, and in the back end, all the data stored on the RFID will be provided to the buyer. For the customer, he or she can see the cloth info on the website, and in the back end, they will act as a useful node in the blockchain. Um, The workflow of our business model, we are following the agile workflow for the validation and verification. So here we come towards the end of our presentation. We are confident that we will make a feasible product. Thank you for being with us. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, team, for the presentation. So, judges, for the Q&A session, the time starts now.
Hi, can you please explain, like, will it work with the just non-sold clothes, or they will work with the used clothes, and how this tag will help with that information? That was not pretty clear, at least to me.
So the tag is present on the cloth. It is a passive RFID sensor, which means that in the absence of an RFID reader, it will just be like a piece of plastic. But once it comes in contact with the RFID reader, the radio frequency wave will be sent from the reader to the tag, and information will be transferred. So this way, we can use it to track our clothes and get all the useful information about the piece of cloth.
Actually, the main problem in the recycling of textile waste is we don't specifically know what kind of a material has gone in making of that. And recycling of means segregation of textile waste is a kind of a huge manual labor work, which requires a huge investment that company don't want to put in and get revenue from it. So our system will automatically segregate it and will save the companies on that particular aspect, so that they can earn upon on a big revenue and can operate upon their recycling industries.
Okay, so you're going to do that all by using only information, or by anything extra? Just by use of information, you're going to help with that?
Yeah, first with a piece of information, and second with the smart bin concept that we have mentioned. So
Okay,
first,
so what will smart bin have additionally to do more than information?
okay, so kind of a thing, like first, if you got in the information that this is the material that has gotten into this, so the smart bin will divide the means textile on the basis of the material, and further that will be sent in to the specific industries whose need is that particular material. For example, if there is a nylon fabric, then the rubber industries can utilize it. If there is a cotton fabric, then shoddy and that soft toys industries can utilize it. So based upon the segregation, we'll sell it, and the smart bin has the role in segregating it.
Okay, clear. And it will work only with the non-sold clothes, right? Which
No,
have never been sold.
No, sir,
Sir,
it can work on any cloth. The chip is installed during the manufacturing process. Initially, when there is a piece of cloth, the chip is installed, and the chip remains with the cloth throughout its use. Once the user buys it, it is still there. So after you dispose it and throw it in the smart bin, it will get segregated, and then it will get recycled.
Okay,
And
so
sir,
you have.
adding to that, just 1 second. Adding to that, the RFID chip we are using, it is a passive RFID, so therefore there won't be any issue of security. The location of the person wearing the T-shirts would never be disclosed anywhere.
Okay. Okay, so okay.
So you're collecting these RFIDs from the used clothes again when they're put into the smart bin, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that way
Once
these RFIDs are again recycled.
Yes, actually the RFID tag is rewritable. You can read and write it on it again. So once it is sent for recycling, we'll collect the RFID sensor again and use it in other clothes. The RFID will the RFID ID will get changed and the information will get deleted from the tag and new information will be entered into the tag. So it will again come into process. So the same manufacturing unit can reuse the RFID sensors again and again.
One small doubt, maybe I'm not sure whether it was covered in the presentation or I missed it, but each user, right, consumer, with respect to used clothes, so how the smart bins are pretty accessible to the consumers. Okay, in the manufacturer side, like it can
Sir,
be
it can,
taken from.
we can also do that. That most when we recycle the clothes, we are collecting the clothes from the dump yard. So directly from the dump yard, we can move it to the conveyor belt, and then again it can get segregated in the smart bins. Like just before we are sending it out to recycling, we can use the smart bin there, and we can sort the clothes, and
Okay,
then
okay. Basically, all this the used clothes would be picked from the dump yard.
yeah,
And
from the
further,
dump yard.
one more add to that, in our extended phase 3, we have planned it for incentivizing our means the end consumer for putting in every
Yeah.
cloth in to the
The
smart bin.
smart bin. We can provide the user with some kind of some credits for credit points for buying the cloth again. For the next time, some credits will be stored, and the user can use the credits for buying new clothes. That is in phase 2, not in phase 1.
And in addition to that, we will be like in the initial phase, we'll be installing the smart bins near shops so that the people who comes to buy new clothes can even can come with the old clothes and dump it in the smart bin and even purchase the new one. So they would be having access to the nearby smart bins around their each other. So they would have to travel long way or have to go to NGOs or other villages to donate their clothes. They can simply put in the smart bin and it automatically be get recycled enough.
Okay.
Thank you, teams. Sir, we have a time limitation. So I hope uh, the queries, the major queries are done. So thank you, team, and you can stop sharing the screen. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you to the jury members. Thank you so much.
Good work, guys. Thanks.
So team 5, you can raise your hand. So I have sent the invites to all the members. I hope everyone has accepted it. So team 5, you can present your screen and wait for the slot to start. So
Can we please do a quick mic check?
yeah. Please do that.
So, am I audible?
Yes. Am
Yes.
I
Okay.
audible?
Yes. Checking.
Yes.
Hello. All
Yes,
good?
Krishna. Yeah, Krishna, you're all
Yes.
good. Am I audible?
Yeah, Mainak.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll present my screen.
Yeah. So before that, I'll just give a quick overview of how we'll go about. So immediately after the 13th minute ends, I'll sound a buzzer. The buzzer will be something like this. Okay, so after that you'll have to wrap your presentation within 2 minutes for the 15-minute slot, and then after that there will be a 5-minute Q&A session where the judges will ask queries, and then after that we are done. So you can share your screen and wait for the for my cue.
Please let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay. So please let us know when we can start.
Yeah, I'll mention when to start.
Okay.
You'll start at 1:20. I'll mention.
Okay.
when to start. Judges, please note this is Team 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, your time starts now.
A very good day to everyone. We present to you Truck Doc, our end-to-end solution for in-transit trucking needs. Before we proceed, let's listen to Nipin, a truck driver from Kolhapur.
मेरा निपिन मंडल डंपर चलाते हैं तो बहुत किस्म का प्रॉब्लम होता है पंचर भी होता है एक्सेल भी टूटता है ब्रेक फेल भी होता है क्लच भी फेल बढ़ जाता है तो रात को चलाने से नींद भी आता है हमें चलाते चलाते मेरा नींद आ जाएगा तो गाड़ी हम किसी को मार देगा किसी के घर में घुसा देगा ये गाड़ी के पीछे भी मार देगा तो मेरा जान का रिस्क है
Based on our conversation with Nipin, we detail out an average day for him. Sunil Marakar, a Mumbai-based fleet owner, landed a contract to transport industrial goods to Bhopal in his 5-year-old Tata truck, which he assigned to his driver Nipin. Unfortunately, the truck's axle broke down en route, and Nipin, now stranded, is unable to find a mechanic, nor is he able to inform Sunil about the mishap. This led to a downtime of 5 hours and an expenditure of 50,000 rupees to replace the broken axle. Sunil also lost future business prospects with that firm. Similar to Nipin, there are millions of truck drivers on Indian roads today who face problems such as flattened tires, damaged clutches, overheated engines, and brake failures. These problems are caused by a lack of awareness of component health, which is perpetrated by an unwillingness to undergo regular maintenance, high maintenance costs, and significant downtime. The industry also suffers from accidents due to driver drowsiness, unavailability of in-transit connectivity, and a lack of timely breakdown assistance. The severe effects of these problems are experienced in terms of loss of life in accidents, high replacement costs, and significant downtime. In order to ascertain the validity of these problems, we conducted telephonic interviews with our stakeholders, and based on these statistics, we clearly established that the problems are real and majorly unsolved. Now that we have verified that the problem exists, we determine its scale. For a typical fleet owner, there is an enormous expenditure of up to 60 lakhs per annum incurred for component replacement. Unexpected in-transit breakdowns amount to 3,400 hours of downtime, which leads to an unaffordable loss of revenue. In terms of road safety, the lion's share of all accidents are caused by driver drowsiness. From a detailed trucking industry study, the market size in India is $10 billion with 7.6 million trucks on road. Despite the massive contribution of this industry to the country's GDP, the exceedingly poor market penetration of telematics shows the potential for Truck Doc in this segment.
Having identified the problems faced by the trucking industry, we move forward to the solution. We studied the existing Indian and international competitors and found that they were not focusing on three key areas: accident due to drowsiness, lack of internet connectivity, and component damage detection. Their solutions were not assistive enough and failed to solve the problems unique to the Indian trucking industry. To fill these gaps, we present to you TruckDoc, an in-transit vehicle monitoring system specialized for Indian trucks. Our mission is to create innovative solutions to make commercial transportation safe and cost effective. TruckDog provides monitoring of truck components like clutch, axle, brake, detection of driver drowsiness, and getting updates even without cellular network. In order to make our solution more accessible, we provide two versions, Basic and Pro. Drivers can see the issues with their truck on the LCD dashboard and the Assistive Driver app. The driver app also provides the nearby mechanic contacts.
मैकेनिक से बात करने के लिए यहाँ दबाएं।
Fleet owners can track their trucks using the desktop app. Now, with TruckDog, fleet owners can reduce the cost incurred per truck, prevent asset damage, and reduce their downtime. TruckDog increases safety of drivers in transit, provides immediate breakdown assistance, and improves their overall working conditions. In order to help you better understand this idea, let's go through a quick demonstration of our prototype.
Slave 1 monitors the ammonia concentration in the DEF tank and solution level. If the levels fall below certain threshold, the master is warned. Slave number 2 monitors wheel misalignment using a rotary position encoder fixed at the ends of the steering rod. Position is relayed to the microcontroller that then sends it to the master through a wireless link. Slave number 3 monitors axle bending. It does that by using LVDT sensor that monitors the linear displacement of the axle, which is then relayed to the master. Slave number 4 monitors the engine coolant pressure as well as the input shaft RPM using a Hall effect sensor. It sends that data to the master to predict clutch height. Slave number 5 monitors the tire air pressure. The air pressure sensor is mounted on the nozzle, which is then read by the microcontroller and sent wirelessly to the master. Here we are looking at the master dashboard, which has a master node and dashboard along with a red light to display warnings to the driver. Along with this, there is a piezoelectric buzzer to warn the driver when he feels sleepy. To detect this drowsiness, we have installed an infrared camera along with two infrared LEDs to help to detect drowsiness in dark conditions. If any warning is sent by the slave node, it is displayed by the master dashboard and the red light blinks. For this, we have an NRF antenna for communication among nodes and a GSM module to publish messages to the cloud. So let us test the driver drowsiness system. Here, we can see that as soon as the driver sleeps, the system is alerted and an alarm is raised, and this would potentially wake up the driver. To demonstrate the warning mechanism, we are deflating the tire pressure of this truck. As soon as the tire pressure goes below the threshold, a warning is displayed on the driver dashboard and the data is relayed back to the cloud via a 2G gateway. This problem is shown on the fleet owner dashboard along with the live GPS location of the truck.
Alright, so let's look at the technology stack. The overall architecture is shown here. The master node on the truck dashboard wirelessly collects data from the slave nodes that monitor vehicle parameters. It performs secondary calculations and raises alerts. It also connects to the ECU, the GPS module, the drowsiness detection system, and the dashboard display through wired interfaces. Messages are sent through a LoRaWAN gateway to a satellite on the 868 MHz ISM band. The messages are relayed to LoRaWAN ground stations from where they are uploaded to Google Cloud to an Ethernet gateway. From the cloud database, notifications and analytics are sent to the fleet owner's dashboard. The master node has a 32-bit microcontroller from the EFM32JG series from Silicon Labs, which communicates with the slaves through NRF modules. It implements the features of fuel quality monitoring, brake wear, and clutch wear prediction. It also manages the LoRaWAN gateway and the GPS module while operating the alert mechanisms.
The exhaust gas from the engine is treated by passing it through a DEF tank consisting of urea and deionized water. In DEF level monitoring, the slave module mounted on the lid of the tank monitors the ammonia levels using an MQ135 sensor and the liquid level using an HC SRO4 module. If the levels fall below the safe limit, the slave alerts the master wirelessly using the NRF module and the driver is warned through the dashboard. In wheel alignment monitoring, two rotary encoders are placed on front wheels on separate wireless slave nodes to measure the rotation angles. One encoder is connected to the master, which measures the rotation of the steering rod. The slave nodes keep updating the master with angular positions of the front wheels. The master node correlates it with the steering position and detects discrepancies in case of misalignment of the wheels and alerts the fleet owner. In axle bend monitoring, slave nodes are fixed at the ends of the axle to quantify the bending of the axle by measuring the linear displacement of the ends using a LVDT sensor. A warning signal is sent to the master node if the linear displacement exceeds a certain threshold. The master node then alerts the fleet owner about the vehicle's overloading. In clutch health monitoring, slave module uses a Hall effect sensor to capture the input shaft RPM which carries power to the gearbox. Master reads engine RPM from the ECOBD bus and compares it with the input shaft RPM read from slave 4. If the difference in both RPMs persists beyond a certain response time of 1 to 1.5 seconds, clutch damage is detected. When the number of such occurrences crosses a certain threshold, clutch maintenance is suggested. In tire pressure monitoring, slave units are placed on each tire's rim near the nozzle. It reads and relays the air pressure data for each wheel to the master. The master monitors the air pressure data and raises alert for low pressure or uneven pressure distribution. In the driver drowsiness detection system, we constantly monitor the driver's eye status using a camera and a static semantic segmentation model based on facial landmark detection. If the eyes are found to be closed for more than 1 second, a piezoelectric buzzer is sounded till the driver wakes up. It is based on a Raspberry Pi Zero interfaced with the master over an I2C bus with sensor drowsiness status every 10 milliseconds. The two infrared LEDs are turned on in dark environments, helping detect drowsiness even at night when maximum accidents take place. In fuel quality monitoring, the master taps into the ECU OBD bus and checks the output of the lambda sensor that measures the concentration of unburnt oxygen in exhaust as well as the engine RPM. By correlating both these parameters, the fuel quality fed into the engine is determined. If the correction attempted by the ECU does not improve lambda sensor readings, an alert is raised for low fuel quality. In brake monitoring system, the master is interrupted on every press of the brake pedal. It measures the raw acceleration from the IMU on the SPI bus and denoises it by passing it through a Kalman filter. The filtered acceleration value is compared with the minimum required deceleration of the truck. If the deceleration value is below the threshold, an alert is raised.
Our cloud architecture is based on Google Cloud Platform. Data goes into Google Cloud IoT Core via HTTP protocol and is further routed via PubSub. Data is divided into separate subfolders, one for warnings and GPS data that is updated every minute, and the other for trip and analytics. For GPS data, the cloud function verifies if the data is valid and then stores it on an SQL database called BigQuery. For warnings, the cloud function decodes the sent data into human-readable warnings and uploads it on Firestore. For the trip and analytics, the cloud function performs some calculations and stores the results on Firestore. Finally, the dashboard website fetches the data using an API server made with cloud functions. LoRaWAN was used as a communication link between the master node and the cloud. This was done as continuous cellular connectivity is poor on most highways in India. Also, cellular data packs are costly. LoRaWAN has a longer range and lower power consumption than all other long distance protocols, while having acceptable cost and throughput. NRF was chosen as a communication protocol between the master and the slave nodes. This was done due to its lower cost, low power consumption, acceptable range, security, and throughput. The power consumption for every node was calculated based on the average current consumption and the uptime. The uptime is further divided into active and passive phases. In the active mode, most microcontroller resources are on, and so are the wireless links. In the passive mode, the microcontroller is sent into deep sleep and woken up only at predefined intervals of time. The duty ratio quantifies the fraction of time for which the microcontroller is active. From the average current consumption and the average uptime of 12 hours a day, the daily power consumption was calculated, which was used to predict the battery life. Once discharged, the modules can easily be recharged through a standard micro USB port.
With our fully defined and built solution, we now look at the business aspects of TruckTalk. We validated our solution by talking to stakeholders, and majority were in support of our product. Apart from them, our solution was appreciated by experts from Invest India, Mahindra and Mahindra, and Prime Venture Partners. The business model canvas is shown here. Moving on to how we plan to expand our business. In phase 0, we try to achieve product market fit by conducting pilots. We would provide customized solutions and partner with Service Center and push our products via mechanics in phase 2. Finally, we plan to onboard new fleet owners through our referral system and cater to all truck segments in phase 3 and 4. In order to retain the fleet owners, we'll provide them mechanics for regular maintenance, and for the mechanic network, we'll offer them compensation for referrals and fitting. This is our venture journey with where we stand today. In the long term, we aim to partner with insurance companies and develop IoT solutions for all commercial vehicles. Moving on to financials, our major revenue streams will be from selling of the basic and pro version and subscription charges. At this price point, we get 85% gross margin. Further, we have predicted an exponential revenue growth for our company. We also plan to expand our business by developing partnerships with insurance companies, service centers, and truck manufacturers in future. Our variable costs include the cost of goods sold, fitting costs, and maintenance costs. We would be outsourcing our manufacturing in the initial years. Our fixed costs include the cost of setting up marketing, technology, and administrative infrastructure. Assuming a linear customer acquisition curve in the first 3 years of expansion, we hope to reach break-even in close to 25 months. Our North Star metric as a company is the number of trucks we digitize. To move this metric, we have listed our key product and business metrics. Our primary goal with TruckDog is to make a positive impact. We do that by reducing accident risk for the driver and reducing cost and reducing downtime incurred for the owner. We also like to run our business in a sustainable manner by making use of sustainable packaging and efficient management of e-waste. The team at TruckDog believes in building tech for good solutions, and these are the key role divisions in our team, which help TruckDog achieve its primary objective of making smarter India one truck at a time. Thank you so much, and we are open for questions.
Okay, thank you, team. So, judges, the time slot for asking the questions starts now.
Good, everyone. That was a very good presentation. So one thing what I wanted to understand is the communication from slave node to master node, because it will be through NRF, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there'll be, if I'm not wrong, there'll be some kind of metal interferences. So
Yes.
was that considered as part of the communication? Because
Yes.
one sensor collecting the data and pushing it to the master node, and if
Yeah.
some kind of interference is there, so how are you taking care of that part?
There are two things over here. Firstly, we have tested our modules on an actual truck with actual sensor data going to the cloud. And secondly, there exist such solutions which make use of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi that are installed in commercial buses and trucks right now. So uh, that takes care of the interference. And another thing is that these products would go through EMI EMC testing. So anyways, we are going to validate that with the help of while we are getting our product license, while following the stringent EMI EMC guidelines, we'll be able to mitigate those problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Sorry.
Thanks, Ravi. This is a good presentation, very well professionally put in. Thanks for all the effort. I wanted to know a few things. What else than what you have put in your presentation you are trying to do in future to have a overall safety, no more downtime, etc. What else that you are planning to? And the second question is how you deduce the LoRa WAN and why? It's answered shortly, but I would like to know more.
Yeah. So I'd like to take the second question first. So coming to why we chose LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN has the longest range among all the long distance protocols. LoRaWAN allows us to communicate with satellites that are present in space. So with other technologies, we are not able to do that. Secondly, LoRaWAN has a very low power consumption. So that helps our nodes achieve very high battery lives. So you'll see some nodes that have a battery life of almost 6 years. So that is achievable only because we have LoRaWAN over here.
Okay. Okay. So are you planning to do more modules which will bring in
Yeah.
more things to solution advantages? And additional question is like yeah, have you really have those plans like to have more modules to add it to overall solution?
Sure. Moina, can I take that question, please?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So, as you rightly said, that through our future plans in the GTM, we do plan to expand on other vehicle segments, other commercial vehicle segments. As of now, we plan to focus only on heavy load truck segments, primarily because the component damage issues that we have identified, uh, like there is a higher probability of those issues occurring in the heavy load trucking segment, and also it is the majority segment in the Indian trucking industry, comprising of more than 70% of the Indian trucks on road. Apart from this, when we horizontally diversify to other truck segments and then beyond trucks to other commercial vehicles, we would like to solve problems like monitoring of differential oil or gear oil, which were other problems frequently mentioned by the drivers and the fleet owners during our primary research that we did.
Okay. Are you going to record about driver, about the fleet as the fleet goes on, so that you can present it to the fleet owner to give a better profile, improvement scope, and all? If not, and that would be like I would suggest that to do. That will really.
Sir, we are actually doing that. We have a fleet owner's dashboard which we can demonstrate to you right now, like how our prototype actually works, like how the warning status is actually displayed on the fleet owner's dashboard. So if you
Yeah. So
want, we can.
additionally, I was asking, like, even if you are offline, fleet owner is not there to see it immediately.
Okay.
Are you going to do something offline and present it later from a saved stage or somewhere,
Yes.
so that he gets into end picture?
So the data is already being logged on the cloud, and an end-to-end analysis is available for the fleet owner on his dashboard. So even if he's not online at that moment, we can send. He always has the app to look at all the reports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
So if you want, we can demonstrate that also.
So the time slot has, I mean, the time limit for the Q&A session is done. So I think we should close now. So thank you, team. Thank you for the presentation. Overall, the judges uh, have asked their queries as well. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Good job, team. Great work.
It was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great work. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Great work. So I think we are done with all presentation, right?
So we have one more team, sir.
Oh, one more is there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Immediately
So
now.
yeah. Immediately
Okay.
now. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So team 9,
Oh,
please
team
make
9
your
is
hands.
also there.
Yeah. So just a minute. I'll give you presenter access. Sorry, speaker access. Just a minute. Okay. So Kirtana, Arun, and Sumuk have raised their hands. I'll be giving them access. Okay, and Venkatesh as well. Okay. So, and Anand as well. Okay. Yeah. Giving them access.
Hello, Arun. Is it fine if we don't on the video for the bad connections? Like,
Yeah. That is entirely.
thank you.
I think I've given access to all the team members. Please tell me if anyone else is remaining. Okay, Venkatesh is remaining.
Anand. Okay.
Yeah, Anand, I've given him access. Venkatesh also I've given him now. So team, you can present your screen. I'll give the modalities now. So it will go like this. So immediately after the 13th minute, there will be a buzzer which will sound like this. Okay, so someone has an echo issue. Please sort it out. Okay, so after this, 2 minutes will be given to complete the presentation, and after that, there will be a 5-minute Q&A session. So then we are done. So someone has an echo issue. Please sort it out soon.
Sure.
You can present your screen, and accordingly you can start when I mention.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, your screen is visible.
We'll start in 2 more minutes. Like,
Yeah, I'll mention when to start. Please start then.
yeah, sure.
Again, there is a persisting echo issue. If you want, you can sort it. I'll give a few minutes. I mean, I'll give some time for it, say 20 seconds, and then you can start. So, judges, we had given the slot for 155, considering this was, I mean, the slot was shifted. But since the teams are here, we'll take the presentation now. So, please note, this is team 9. So,
Yeah.
let's start. I mean, are we good to go, team?
Yes, we are good to go. Shall we start?
Okay. Yeah. Please start. Your time starts now.
Sure. Good afternoon. We are Team 9 presenting you our project Sahayak, an affordable smart wrist wearable. The identified problem statement is lack of healthcare for the elderly. In India, there are 15 million senior citizens living independently, while there are 14 million age such people in the US. One of the major causes of their deaths is the lack of immediate medical attention, as they don't have any caretaker to attend to them. Also, irregular medicine consumption due to their forgetfulness leads to serious health concerns. To address these issues, we have come up with Sahayak, an affordable smart wrist wearable dedicated to the needs of senior citizens with features to help reduce their health risks. The market is validated by the World Health Organization. Stats show that between 2015 and 2050, the proportion of the world's population over 60 years will nearly double from 12% to 22%. By 2050, 80% of older people will be living in low and middle income countries. At the same time, it is important to note that the worldwide wearables market is increasing steadily as depicted by the bar graph. Let me brief you through the features of our minimum viable product by explaining the problems they try to solve. Number one, monitoring the senior citizens' health 24 by 7 is not cost efficient. The smartwatches available in the market that can monitor their health are general multi-purpose devices with many features irrelevant to them, like calories burnt, attending calls, etc. They are designed for any age group to wear. Hence, we have used 3 sensors to track the most necessary health parameters: temperature, heart rate, and oxygen saturation, which is the SpO2 level. Second problem, if any measurable parameter of their health goes abnormal, immediate medical attention is not received, as their family member or doctor is uninformed about it. Hence, we have implemented an alert feature wherein an alert message is sent to the caretaker's app. Third problem, many of the elderly people tend to slip off in the bathroom or while walking and remain unattended for a long time due to the absence of anyone near them. To solve this, We have used a fall detection sensor that can send alerts to the family member or neighbor. Fourth problem, they have a tendency to forget medicine names and when they need to take it. Hence, we have implemented a medicine alert feature wherein names of medicines will be displayed on the wearable screen at the right time. Apart from this, we have used a 3.7 volt 300 mAh LiPo battery, and moreover, our product is water resistant. Now, the features that make our wearable unique will be explained by Sumuk.
Yeah, so some of the features which make a variable unique are alert feature, SOS feature. So using the GSM module, in the case of emergency, the senior citizen can notify their caretaker that they need a help. Our product has a battery life and it's also cost effective since numerous sensors and other information that are not necessary for the senior citizens are not used, which results in lowering the cost and also increasing the battery life. Our product is 5 bar pressure, water resistance, and also supports magnetic charging. There's a huge growth potential in our wearable, and some of the important points are listed. Like we can include some of the activity sensors like sleep pattern monitoring, step counter, etc. And we can also use GPS such that if a senior citizen is having a problem like Alzheimer or get lost somewhere, their caretaker can keep a track on them. We are also willing to develop a system which can detect heart attack before it gets too serious, and also a speaker such that a medicine name will sound at the required time in a customized voice of the caretaker. Now, when in the market, there are several competitors for our wearable. Some of the big competitors are a Samsung Watch Series 4, which cost around 35,000, and some of its important features are fall detection sensor and GPS. So, our counteractive plan against it will provide cellular data support, and our variable is specially made for seniors. Then, one another competitor is Fitbit Versa 3 smartwatch, which cost around 19,000 rupees, which has a 6-day battery life, but it lacks on having a fall detection sensor. And here our variable has an advantage over this watch. And the price of our variable is very affordable with respect to these smartwatches, which can attract more people to buy it. Now, the go-to-market plan will be explained by Venkatesha.
Yes. So we will reach out to multiple customers of a target market through various marketing strategies and build the customer loyalty. Number one, neuromarketing. The term neuromarketing refers to the measurement of physiological and neural signals to gather information about the customer motivations, preferences, and habits. Basically, SEO marketing can be deployed. Next is marketing through various social media platforms, which is the trend in the modern era. Third one is building a niche market. The already existing business giants possess huge capital and cater to a wider market. In order to compete with them, we will focus on a niche market, which is senior citizens who live alone during the day while their family members are away at school, college, or work. And number two, elderly people who live independently. Considering the market size, among the 929 million wearable users, 157 million users are above the age of 55. The top part of the pyramid represents those audiences that can't afford the existing smartwatches in the market. Hence, our focus will be to cater to the top two sections of the pyramid as our wearable Sahayak is affordable. Moving on, the KPI or success metrics, our business goals are customer satisfaction and accuracy of the device operation. So these are the key performance index that we would like to track. Number one, product trials, wherein we give the product and get the feedback from the customers on a event basis. Number two, feedback option in the app, which can be updated in the app. And number three, monitoring the device operation and its maintenance. Going on with the impact assessment, the positive aspects are, of course, all the previous features that you have mentioned, like cost effective, water resistant, and tracking the patient's health and sending it to the doctor in case of emergency. Now, we envision implementing a customized voice feature to give medicine alerts instead of just displaying on the screen. The main negative aspect is the size part, which we are working towards so that we can make a compact device. Next is the business model of Sahayak. We will have a B2C e-commerce business model. We would partner with e-commerce websites like Amazon, Flipkart, and implement a direct sales model. Because in the modern times, having a retail store is highly costly. The initial upfront costs are extreme. So as a initial launch, we plan to go for e-commerce business model. Along with explaining the essential features of Sahayak, we would like to incentivize the customers to buy our product by giving them extra services at a discounted price. For example, customer can obtain services of health tips giving startup like Healthify Me and online medicine delivery like 1mg at a discounted price. This will help them to incentivize the buying. Now, the exact revenue model will be explained by my teammate.
Um, the final cost of Saya is estimated to be around 4,449 with 9% profit margin. Apart from direct sales, we generate money through subscriptions by partnering with health tip startups and medicine delivering startups by bringing new customers to them. Considering Healthify Me and 1mg as an example, as we drive new customers, we cut a profit share from the subscription amount. Healthify Me plan costs around 999 rupees for 3 months, but the user from our app can get it for 899, from which we will generate a revenue of 50 rupees. The same will be applied for 1mg, as the subscription amount is around 275. We will get a profit of 25 rupees. The inclusion of Healthify Me and 1mg is due to the fact that their client goals and ours are intertwined. If we reach an agreement with one of them, it will increase their subscribers numbers as well as ours. In our forthcoming upgrades, we aim to integrate pill count, which we can use in conjunction with 1mg, so we can send a reminder through our app if the pill count breaks a certain number, allowing the caretaker to buy the bills using 1mg and deliver them straight to our client. With Healthify Me, you may form a similar connection. So regarding the cost, as a result, the cost that we arrive at is for the present model. Because we are starting with Amazon as a primary marketplace, Amazon will handle all of the delivery and transportation. The cost charged by Amazon to advertise our products on their website is referred to as referral fee. As a result, they typically charge for roughly 17% of the total cost of technological equipment. Other fees include pickup and pack, closing fees, and shipping of our merchandise across the country. However, we must account for maintenance and labor cost too, which will be calculated using 1% of the net cost before profit margin. As a result, we arrive at the price of 4,449. If we further proceed, we can access the retailers directly through formidable VCs, which leads to the cheaper cost at an increased profit margin. Now, our teammate will continue.
So before going to the impact and sustainability analysis of the product, let me ask you a question. What makes a product sustainable? As we all know that, that is reducing the carbon footprint of the product. Being mindful of this fact, we not only want to make a product which is useful for the people, but in the process, we want to make our product sustainable. Now, coming to the impact and sustainability analysis of the product, let me first discuss about the resource base. Sensors, processors, and other electronic modules are brought from the market. The manufacturer of IC chips for this components consumes a lot of fresh water and electricity. The metal body can be made from recycled metals, and other parts can be made from recycled plastic and rubber. Now, coming to the life cycle impacts and benefits. This our product is designed to last long. In general, PCBs last till 50 to 70 years of use under the right conditions in dry environment, and a series of other recommendations based on the terms of use. And coming to electronic components, they can last for at least 10 years. And then battery will last for at least 2 to 3 years. And after the usage, battery can be replaced. Now, as we told previously, we are using lithium polymer battery. This has an efficiency of 95%. And then now coming to production and packaging, ensuring a safe environment for workers is a main goal. And we'll try to use a green chemicals for assembly, and also using renewable energy as much as possible will reduce the carbon footprint. We want to use recyclable packaging, that would make a great difference. And then coming to disposal, we would like to introduce a scheme for the scheme for our customers to return the products after use. In that way, we can recycle the parts which can be recycled. The metal parts and the rubbers are also recycled again. And then now coming to the social benefits, we want to make which is user friendly interface, which is user friendly. Sorry, okay, which is user friendly, and also which can be they can elderly people can use it easily. And then now Anant will take over from here.
So, to bring together our vision of the end-to-end IoT solution, we also design an Android application which remains connected to the cloud platform as well as the wearable. A basic prototype of the app was created using the MIT App Inventor, and the app has enormous development potential. On the home screen, the app receives and displays real-time health data from ThinkSpeak, our cloud platform service. One of the strongest features of the app is its capability to analyze the data received from the cloud and generate emergency alerts if any health parameters go abnormal. Upon further development, it will also be able to notify the patient's family doctor in a serious case. The app can also be used to set reminders for the patient. Currently, it works as an alarm feature in the phone, but in subsequent versions, the reminders will also be displayed and recited in the wearable. The app's settings menu can be used to edit senior citizens' details and his or her emergency contacts. All these details will be synced into the cloud and can be used for emergency medical purposes. So, to conclude, the app really brings together the elderly and the caretaker via IoT and fulfills the whole purpose of this Sahayak project. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, team. So, judges, we are open to questions now. So, the time for that starts now. Ravitej sir, Rishabh sir, anyone, any question? Rahul sir, Manas sir.
Do you have exact details of what you are using in wearables? Have a prototype or anything done around that?
Yeah, we have the details. Can you show the circuit diagram and explain? If,
If you have it handy, is okay.
yeah. So
Okay, I think it's a part of the presentation you have submitted, and you can see it. Do you have plan to like standardize it in terms of medical standards, or have you done anything for that?
Can I take this question? So yes, sir, we are actually planning once this product goes into the market, and so we are planning to contact hospitals and doctors, and this can become a scheme that is uh, rolled out by the hospitals itself, so that the data can be easier for monitoring by the doctors and the hospitals itself for the senior citizens. In that way, it will become like a standard procedure to follow uh, for senior citizens health monitoring.
Okay.
Anyone else from the panel has any query?
Nothing from my side.
Okay. 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 Thank you, team. Thank you for the presentation. All the panelists who took their time off on, took their time on an off day, that is Saturday, and came and viewed our presentations, all the presentations from all the teams. So I thank all the judges, and especially I would like to thank Subru sir and uh, Prasanna ma'am, who had coordinated everything from Silicon Lab side. So thank you all judges, Manas sir, Rishabh sir, Rahul sir, Ravitej sir, and others as well. So thank you everyone, thank you team. So with this we conclude all the presentations for panel one for Silicon Labs Social and Entrepreneurship Challenge Hype Prep event. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Yep.
you.
thank you
Good
so
to be
much.
here. Best of luck to all of them.
Thank you, sir.
All the best, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you sir, bye sir.
Thank you, Arun. Thanks for coordinating. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.